against Livingston, but our commentary match this evening comes from Ibrox. It's Rangers against St Johnstone with Kenny Miller, Callum Davidson and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks, Kenny. Good evening, everyone. It's been a terrific few days for Rangers, capturing the League Cup trophy, topping their Europa League group by beating Real Betis in Seville to reach the last 16, and seeing the rival Celtic lose 2 league games in a row to give these home fans real hope that Philippe Clement can guide their side to further success. St Johnstone are hoping to become the first team to beat Rangers under Clement, but they've won just once on their last 39 visits to Ibrox. Craig Levein has certainly had a positive impact of his own since taking the reins at McDermott, and will be looking to engineer just a second ever victory here as a manager and dampen the spirits of the bulk of the crowd gathered here this December evening. Rangers are going to get us underway, going from right to left as we look at it from their position in the gantry in the main stand, in their traditional blue tops, white shorts, black and red socks. St Johnstone are all in white. The referee is Alan Muir, and he points to the centre spot, and we're underway. And Rangers immediately trying to mount the attack, but Tavernier's ball forward is cut out and out for an early throw-in. But you would expect Rangers to look to try and start really positively, try and use the energy of the crowd and put St Johnstone on the back foot. The last thing they want to do is be searching for the opening goal as half-time approaches. The quick start is essential. That's a poor ball forward from Kieran Dowell, who you'd imagine Kenny Miller's got to grasp this opportunity, a rare one as it is, in the centre of that Rangers midfield.
Yeah, it has been. He's in there beside John Lundstrom, who seems at this moment in time to be an ever-present in the Rangers team, one of the first names on the team sheet. But I think he'll be the one that will be given a little bit of licence to get forward and join in the attacks with Kamar Roof and Sam Lammers, Seaman McCausland. He's got a go, he's got an eye for a pass here, Kieran has, so it's an opportunity for him tonight, and he has to take it. I'll say even in this early stage where you can see St Johnstone, their back five's narrow, their midfield four, it's going to be a lot of work for Smith and Kucheravi, I think, to cover the width of the pitch. But it's big chance for Kieran Dowell.
There's an early head knock here for John Souttar. The last thing he needs is to have his evening curtailed as early as this, given that his own opportunities in the Rangers starting 11 have been limited. But I think he's got a cut. Conor Golson seems to be suggesting that he'll need a fresh top at the very least because of blood. John Souttar, you can't buy a bit of luck, Callum, these days.
Yeah, so sometimes the players just get that tight, go through those little periods where they get knocks, they try to get the team, they get another wee knock. You know, this is the last thing he'd want to start. You know, he'd really want to play every week. You know, it looks like he's actually been sort of butted in the nose kind of thing, a wee back header. You know, nothing really in it, but it's just one of those sort of innocuous challenges that probably looks like he's got a bloody nose.
It was Kucheravi that went up with in the aerial battle, and it was just, as Callum says, very innocuous, but I'm not sure it will feel particularly innocuous to John Souttar right now. It's not as cold an evening as we've had in the south side of Glasgow, but nonetheless it can't be particularly pleasant getting a bash in the nose in what is it, maybe 8 degrees here in Glasgow this evening. Anyway, an early stoppage as St Johnstone look to try and come away from Ibrox with the same type of result perhaps as they engineered in the east end of Glasgow earlier in the season. That was under Stephen McLean. A few would have given them a chance of drawing that one 0-0, but that's what they managed to do. But ultimately that wasn't enough to save Stephen McLean. And Craig Levein will no doubt have them well organised for this particular trip to Ibrox, which is not a venue they've done particularly well on. But Callum, you will recall, no doubt, the semi-final penalties victory here on your way to the famous Cup double. Technically, in the statistics I look at, that doesn't even go down as a victory. I'm sure it felt like a victory that day.
Yeah, it was the quarterfinals as well, so it's okay.
So it was.
Yeah, I know. It's I do remember that. I was actually doing a wee presentation on another day, and it's the first time I watched it back. And Xander's header, that he keeps claiming.
And he claimed the goal.
it. So Good memories.
Chris Kane eventually was the one who turned it over the line. John Souttar's come to the sideline. He looks like he's going to be okay to continue after the bleeding has been stemmed. It does look like it was the nose that took the brunt of it. We're back underway, thankfully. 4 minutes gone, but only really about a minute of football has been played. Sima can't bring it under control, and it's young Franchak managing to get it clear. There's another batter on the head, and this time it's Sven Sprangler who bashed into Lammers there. Again, it was completely accidental, but we were like a few yards away from that, and it looked like a sore one as well.
It certainly did. I mean, he's just, I mean, the ball's bouncing. I think it was Kieran Dowell actually. It was bouncing between the two players, and Sprangler just gets his head on it, and with the momentum, he just follows right through into Kieran Dowell there. You know, and he's taking a hard, he's taking a shoulder right onto the side of the jaw, so it looks like he's up and ready, so it's not too serious.
Busy start for the physios, isn't it? You know, rather than the football.
And we're already looking at 5 minutes added on at half time.
Yeah, rather disjointed start to proceedings at Ibrox. Head knock apiece, but both John Souttar and Sven Sprangler looked to be okay. It was almost caught in the sangles there between Lammers and Dowell, but it was Dowell whose shoulder caught him as Dimitar Mitov takes a free kick that was awarded as a result of that straight out of play, and it's Ridvan Yilmaz to take. Gets it back off John Lundstrom, who's run in the Rangers side, began with the game up at McDermott Park actually, and he's played all 21 since, including this evening from the start. He very much is a first pick. Here's McCausland down the right hand side for Rangers as they look for an early opening. Couldn't quite find Lammers, comes out to Tavernier, edge of the box, stands it up, big chance, and Roof just got the glancing header there as Sima came in behind him. Maybe a shout from Sima would have been in order there, but Roof couldn't glance it on target, and it's gone wide, and it remains with almost 6 minutes on the clock. Rangers 0, St Johnstone 0.
What I've noticed from Rangers at the start of the game, they're actually playing forward balls really early. They've gone quite aggressive in their passing. Even that from Tavernier is just a simple pass forward, got them in behind, and very unlucky not to score in the end.
You can understand why Roof tried to get on the end of that, Kenny, but Sima was almost certainly better position, wasn't he?
No, he certainly was, and like you say, he probably did shout when Kamar Roof just back in the team. He's had an injury after injury. You would probably see that as a really good opportunity, but it was just too high for him. Sima was coming in. Had he left it, I think it's probably a certain goal, because the way Sima can attack that back post, he's got a number of headed goals already this season. Yeah,
he's a real aerial threat, isn't he? 5 goals in his last 5 games. Abdallah Sima, he really has struck another rich vein of form as St Johnstone take a long throw in, but it's gone all the way through to Conor Golson, who knocks it back to Jack Butland, who's described this as one of his best weeks in football, and looking to add to his 8 clean sheets from his last 12 games and try and help his side to another 3 points to take them to within 2 points of Celtic tonight. As Souttar comes forward onto the halfway line, just tries to clip that forward for Yilmaz, just skids off the turf. Yilmaz will do well to prevent that going behind, and he can't do so. It will be a St Johnstone goal kick. Decent idea from Souttar, but the skiddy surface isn't going to help Yilmaz there.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, they've talked about St Johnstone's low block, and they're looking to play balls over the top, early balls, trying to break the line. You know, it's quite apparent at the start what Rangers' sort of game plan is, and they've obviously got a little bit of joy there and just a little bit better pass, and Yilmaz was in behind St Johnstone's back 5.
Goal kick taken. Yilmaz and Kucheravi contest that out of play for a St Johnstone throw-in, just more or less on the halfway line, right hand side, to be taken by Dari Olafunwa, who's starting a game for the first time also since that 2-0 defeat by Rangers at McDermott Park back on the 16th of September. Down the line it goes, but it was a push on Yilmaz, who's another one, Kenny, who you feel has to really grasp this opportunity, because even though Borna Barisic is out of contract in the summer, he's certainly been the man who's been preferred by Clermont so far.
He has, I think, and he's still got a lot to prove if he's going to be the left back at Rangers moving forward, even when Borna does move on. So it's again, it's another opportunity. He has had opportunities at the start of the season and performed okay. He finished the season off last season okay as well, but it's just not been consistent enough to kind of nail this left back slot down. So opportunity for him.
Lundstrom clips it forward up to the edge of the penalty area. Mitov gives a shout to Considine there, who just leaves it for his Bulgarian goalkeeper, and it's a comfortable take. 8.5 minutes gone here at Ibrox, no goals yet. quite a few minutes given up for stoppages. That's a poor pass there in the middle of the park by Sprangler. We'll keep you up to date with any goals or major incidents about Pittodrie, Willie Miller and Tyrone Smith there for us, as Suter picks up for Rangers, and then plays it short to Lundstrom, plays it square to Goldson, who's one of these Rangers players now who has all 3 major domestic trophies to his name in the Scottish game. Tavernier and Lundstrom also among them. Back with Suter, short ball to Lundstrom, who really has found his best form again after having had a sticky period, you would have to say, under Michael Beale. Here's Yilmaz, back the way to Lundstrom once more, midway inside the St Johnstone half, left hand side, played quickly to Goldson. Feel that Rangers are trying to keep up a reasonably high tempo at the start of this game. McCausland out on the right hand side, looking to try and get the cross in. Does come off St Johnstone defender, and it'll be a corner kick to Rangers over on the far side. 0-0, almost 10 minutes on the clock.
Good play by McCausland there. Sometimes when you're always left, you always come inside the pitch. It's nice to see him now and again going outside when he gets a corner for Rangers, where also with Tavernier's delivery, they're a big threat.
Tavernier from the right hand side then. Rangers holding most of their players out at the edge of the penalty area before coming in to attack this, and it swings near post ball. Lammers was up there, but he was beaten to it by Olafunwa. It's a good clearing header, and Kucheravi will pick up. He's tracked by McCausland. He does well to get it back to Olafunwa on the edge of his own penalty area, and it's up to Jayasimi. He can't hold on to it though. Lammers picks up and plays it back to Goldson. Crowd applaud Lammers, trying to instill him with a bit of confidence, which is much needed. Yilmaz's ball is inaccurate one for Sima, and it's out of play for a St Johnstone throw in.
Jai Simi's got to do better there. It's an opportunity. You could see the support was coming from Sprangler. It was coming from Kucheravi as well. They were making a lot of kind of forward runs there. Got to look after it as well. Really, really sloppy play for Jai Simi.
Here he is again, trying to free himself for the shackles of John Lundstrom, which is easier said than done. Lundstrom sticks in a foot though, like a free kick, but it's actually a throw-in that's been given to St Johnstone.
Second prize there, I think, Al.
I think it was either a Rangers throw-in or a St Johnstone free kick, and ultimately Alan Muir's gone for neither. Olafunwa to take this throw in there, about 10 yards inside the Rangers half, right in front of Philippe Clement's technical area. Philippe Clement protesting that it should have been a few yards further back, but he's allowed to continue. Here's Franchak, who by all accounts was terrific on his first start against Hibs at the weekend. Now Kucheravi, another young talent at St Johnstone. Back to Constantine on the edge of the centre circle and out to the left hand side for Robinson. Low ball in, flicked on at the near post. Rangers trying to knock it clear. Lundstrom manages to do that. Olafunwa trying to find Franchak, just manages to get there ahead of Sima. Going back the way though, under pressure from the Senegalese, manages to knock it forward though. Good play from the young man. Is certainly, as Callum was suggesting earlier on, he doesn't really have a traditional 16-year-old's frame. Very well built, stocky, but pretty lean as well, and I think he's got a real good engine on him, but from what we've heard so far. Here's Olafunwa into the middle of the park, and it's out of play from Sprangler, who was looking for Franchak just to be a few yards further back, but I think really just looking for an excuse for a poor pass.
Yeah, it was great play by young Fran there. He's under pressure. Sima going back to his goal. He's only 16. Normally a young lad would just kick it out of play there, but it just shows the ability and the composure he's got, and maybe the confidence. Really promising signs obviously for the future for St Johnstone with the young Fran.
Here's Sima. He and Yilmaz changing position quite regularly in these opening stages. Yilmaz on a dreadful attempt at putting a cross in, and really, Kerry's got to do better there.
Listen, he's got a good opportunity kind of. I mean, there wasn't a great box presence in there anyway, to be honest with you, but he got it all wrong. But I'm just looking at this right hand side. Callum referenced at the top of the show that the inexperience of this right hand side of the St Johnstone backline. Already I can see between Franchak, Olafunwa and Kucheravi there needs to be better communication. They're getting pulled about, spaces are opening for Yilmaz and Sima.
Kucheravi, that's a better bit of play there in the St Johnstone midfield, but Dowell's won it back for McCausland, who powers through the centre of the park. Good challenge though by Kucheravi, and now it's Phillips, plays a short ball for Sprangler. Phillips almost caught possession there by Dowell. Good hard work from both, and Phillips comes out on top. Centre of the park, plays a short ball into Sprangler, back the way to Liam Gordon just inside his own half, crossing the halfway line now, and then plays it short to Considine on his left. Clips that down the left-hand side for Robinson, who had been operating at left centre-back just recently, but with Considine back, Robinson just shifts out to the left wing-back position. Rangers have it midway inside their own half. Suter just managing to find Yilmaz. It's a good ball in the end, a good bit of movement from the Turk. Plays a short ball infield, and it's Kamar Roof opens up for him. Good block from Considine out there at the edge of his own penalty area, just to close down the effort from Roof. Might well have been goal bound.
Yeah, it was a great pass by Suter. He actually plays it right in front of Yilmaz. It's the only way he can go is forward from it, and he's played it inside to Roof, who's obviously taking a pop shot from about 22 yards, but it's a fantastic block by Liam Gordon.
Another poor pass from Yilmaz, and St Johnstone pick up possession. It's Kucheravi midway inside his own half. Then Phillips tries to play it out to the right hand side, asking a lot there of Kucheravi, but it comes off. I thought it came off Yilmaz, but obviously came off Sprangler. At least that's what the officials decide. And the throw-in goes Rangers' way. Oh, we've got an early change coming here. Is it
Roof's toiling, yep.
It's Dessers that's about to come on, and he's another player who just hasn't had any luck whatsoever with injury. He's limping there as Rangers play the ball forward. It's out of play, and we are going to get that change. 15 minutes in, Cyril Dessers to replace Kamar Roof, and he brings his jersey over his face, emotional as he goes off there, Kamar Roof, and you can understand that. It's so difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. I've been here unfortunately a few times myself, and you know, he'll just want to just get playing games. He'll just want to play. He's seen it as an opportunity for him to get a starting jersey, isn't it, Kenny? You know, that one of those ones he's thinking, right, can I score a couple today? I've got a real chance to do it. And you can see how devastated he is going off the pitch there.
Yeah, he's absolutely gutted there. I think it's just the latest comeback at Kamar Roof, and unfortunately his whole Rangers career has been plagued with these types of moments. You know, we know that, I think everybody knows the benefits that he can bring and the quality that he's got when he's fit and available, but just not seen it enough.
So Cyril Dessers on after 15 minutes to replace the injured Kamar Roof. Still the scoreline reads Rangers 0, St Johnstone 0, 16 minutes played now. 0-0 at Pittodrie between Aberdeen and Livingston. Here's Yilmaz, slides it forward looking for Sima, out of play off Franchak. Rangers will have the throw in about 25 yards from the St Johnstone corner flag, taken short to Lammers by Yilmaz, then into Lundstrom. Lammers again, back to Goldson. Forward he comes, midway inside the St Johnstone half, out to the right hand side from Dowell to Tavernier. Dowell again once more. He's seen a decent amount of the ball in these early stages, looking to make an impression. Lammers into Tavernier. His flick wasn't good enough, but it comes for Dessers at the edge of the box, just tries to touch it back for Lammers. That doesn't come off either. St Johnstone scramble it clear as far as Goldson, who just turns and plays it back to the halfway line for Suter. And now it's Lundstrom out to the left hand side for Yilmaz. Rangers looking for this opening goal, clips it into the box. Lammers can't get there, Gordon can. Tavernier trying to keep it alive. Now it's Dowell midway inside the St Johnstone half, out to the right it goes. Not a great pass from Dowell, you'd have to say, but McCausland keeps it in play, and Goldson gets it to Lundstrom. Rangers seen plenty of possession, as you would imagine. Here's Lammers getting it off Suter, into the feet of Dessers now. Can't get turned, comes back to Lundstrom, 25 yards out, goes for goal. Phillips blocks, breaks out to McCausland right hand side. A lot of pressure here now for St Johnstone to deal with. McCausland from the right, back it goes to Tavernier, steps away from his marker at the edge of the penalty, plays it for Sima, comes to Yilmaz instead, couldn't get it out of his feet, and Olafunwa able to clear up to the halfway line as Suter just holds off Jayasimi, but you sense that St Johnstone are toiling to get out here as Lundstrom comes again. 17, almost 18 minutes played, still 0-0, but Rangers on the lookout for the opening goal. McCausland sold short there by Lundstrom, but he does emerge with possession. Now it's Lammers midway inside the St Johnstone half, back with Lundstrom once more. St Johnstone with the 7 or 8 players back behind the ball, maybe 9, as Lundstrom picks up once more. Difficult to play their way through this for Rangers, but they've got to find a way. Suter into the feet of Yilmaz. Now it's further left to Sima, up against Franchak. Plays it forward once more for Yilmaz. The understanding between Sima and Yilmaz not quite there as yet. They've tried a few link-ups, not too many of them have come off. 18.5 gone, no goals. Rangers on the front foot for the most part. Lundstrom now on the left-hand side. Plays it back to Yilmaz. Yilmaz back the way for Suter. With 10 yards inside the Saints half.
And you think it's going to be a long night for St Johnstone if they have to sit in like this for 90 minutes.
Here's Dowell getting on the half turn out to McCausland, right hand side. Up against Robinson, tries to get the cross in, it's half blocked. Considine heads clear. Tavernier picks up about 30 yards from goal. Can't quite bring it under control, but it does break back for Goldson eventually. Out to the right hand side for McCausland. Comes in to the edge of the penalty area, flicks it in looking for Dessers. That's knocked away. Goldson picks up once more. Almost incessant Rangers pressure just at the moment. St Johnstone can't get out of their own defensive third. It's Suter. Ball in for Dowell, flicked on to Dessers. Dessers looking to try and find Sima. Read by Franchak. Wasn't quite on the money, the pass in any way, as Mitov is able to clear. Goldson will get back there and knock it back to Jack Butland. It's hard work back there at the moment for St Johnstone, Callum.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you're going 5-4-1, you know, I think that you're two sort of wide in the four. I think young Max and Smith, it's really difficult for them to get out because the ball has to be so accurate up to the striker. At the moment, Rangers are playing with actually quite a good tempo, pinning the 5 and the 4 back, and then there's nothing then going forward when they win it back.
It's great aggressive play for Connor Goldson as well. Really good positioning to actually make sure the attack stays sustained. Any ball comes out, he's there to gobble up and just feed it in for the next attack. Yeah,
I thought they were actually really good against Aberdeen doing that. I thought Goldson, especially on that side, really aggressive position. You know, they were under pressure with Miovski. I thought they dealt with it really well, and he's actually started the game exactly the same as he started the game on Sunday.
Yilmaz just sliding the ball through there for Lammers, and Kucheravi had to slide in and knock it behind. It's a Rangers corner on the left hand side. We've played 20 minutes here, still goalless, but Rangers asking plenty questions, not of Dimitar Mitov as yet, has to be said, but certainly of the St Johnstone backman, as Yilmaz prepares to swing in the corner. It's an outswinger. Considine gets his head to it, comes back out to the left hand side to Yilmaz. Yilmaz with a little step over, nice play away from Franchak, and it comes. Sima attacks it, doesn't quite get the header in. Dessers can't make anything of it. The offside flag is up against Dessers, and St Johnstone survive for now. Rangers 0, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, that'll do Yilmaz. His confidence in the world of good. He started the game like he's under pressure to get that left back spot. He's made a few mistakes. He's hit a couple of 3 woods like Kenny hits it on the golf course, you know, out the pitch.
Slicing it away, you try to suggest there, Callum.
So again, I think that was good play by him on the left hand side. He's put a great ball in, so I think that will sort of help him settle into this game.
The free kick's taken short by Mitov to Gordon. Back now with the Bulgarian goalkeeper. He's got 2 clean sheets in his last 3 matches. Up towards Jayasimi it goes. St Johnstone looking to try and mount some sort of attack, but there's a foul there on that far side by Robinson.
I think that was good from St Johnstone. They've done it a couple of times. They've actually tried to play out. You know, they haven't just got in their shape, got the pitch. They've actually tried to play into areas to expose Rangers. They've got out a couple of times and nearly got out there.
Lundstrom with a lovely diagonal for Sima. Couldn't quite bring it properly under control. Eventually does. Tries to slip it for Lammers. Comes back to Sima. Dowell for Lundstrom just at the edge of the penalty. And now Yilmaz, chance to find a cross. Out came Franchak, and it's handball has been awarded against the young man on the edge of his penalty area, left hand side.
I think I'd like to see Yilmaz there when the ball's come back to Lundstrom. He's just standing. He's got to get higher. He's got to try and break the line a little bit better. He's just standing, making it easy. It's a hard cross from that area. If he actually stands another 5-10 yards further forward, obviously onside, it's an easier cross, a harder one then for the St Johnstone to defend against.
Tavernier then standing over this free kick. It's just at the angle of the penalty area on the left hand side, a few yards out from the penalty area itself, but it's a terrific crossing opportunity this, and maybe one of those ones, Kenny, they can fizz that in almost on target and hope for a nick from someone.
That's it, you're hoping for the runner, but he's also equally got it in the locker to whip it near post.
It's clipped in. It's a St Johnstone head in the shape of Olafunwa who gets it and clears his lines well.
I think you actually nailed that. He done it. I think Dessers could probably have got something on that. He was the one that got across. He's absolutely there. If he could have just got a glance on that, could have caused Mitov all kinds of problems.
Yeah, I did think actually St Johnstone's sort of lineup of their their defensive line was quite near the penalty spot. There was a big gap at the front area.
It's out for a throw in, which is quickly taken by Yilmaz. Back it comes to Dowell, just a little back here for Yilmaz once more on the left hand side. Now it's Suter, plays it square for Goldson. every single Rangers player almost camped in the defensive third of St Johnstone as Goldson gets it out on the far side to McCausland, hugging the touchline on the right. Now he comes in, drives towards the penalty area, lays it off for Lundstrom, out to the left hand side for Yilmaz. First touch wasn't a great one, allows Franchak to nip in and out for a throw into Rangers. We're played just beyond the midway point in this first half. Rangers and St Johnstone still deadlocked at 0-0. As Goldson picks up once more, just nudges it to the right hand side for Dowell, who's been pretty involved in these opening stages. He looks to try and make an impact. He's been beset by injury himself in the early part of his Rangers career. Here's Seema, left hand side, up for about 20 yards from the goal line. Yilmaz in close proximity, uses him as a decoy, gets the cross into the back post. Oh, it was taken away from McCausland there by the interception by Robinson. Does come to McCausland eventually, tries to curl it with the left boot, but he's well off target. And in all honesty, Dimitar Mitov, for all the Rangers pressure, Callum, has been untroubled.
Yeah, no, I think they've obviously defended the box really well. I think that was a good play by Seema down the left hand side. It seems to be sort of the area where Rangers are causing most problems when they go with the quick switch from their right hand side to the left hand side. Then they're creating a bit of space, but you know, they haven't really tested Mitov in the goal yet.
And I think they'll be quite happy, St Johnstone, to deal with those types of crosses. Yep. When you look at Gordon and Considine and Olafunwa, they're quite happy to deal with those things. There's only really Dessers as an aerial threat in the box.
Here's McCausland, forward for Dessers. Gordon should be in charge of that situation, and he just knocks it out of play. Didn't want to play it back to his goalkeeper, perhaps too close to him. Didn't want any misunderstanding there as Rangers get the throw in, taken back the way by Seema, and Lundstrom has to chase it back to the halfway line and then plays it square to Connor Goldson. 25 minutes gone, no goals.
We always used to struggle with it. It was Tavernier and Barisic crossing. It wasn't always the first cross, it was the second cross where they won it again, they put the ball back in when you weren't set. That was always one that was real difficulty, or it was the second 6 yard box when they got Kent within the line and then cut one back into that second 6 yard box. But again, as Kenny said there, St Johnstone will be quite happy defending crosses from 18 yards out. You know, as their back three is, that's what they want to do. They want to just stand there and head it. So St Johnstone will be quite happy, although they haven't a lot of possession. They'll be quite happy with the start.
Corner kick to defend here from the right hand side this time as Tavernier sends it in, comes to Goldson, in Suter. Oh, it takes a couple of deflections. Half cleared by St Johnstone, then poked outside of the penalty area. Suter rather lashed that towards goal, but he was unlucky to see it ricochet away from danger as Tavernier sends it back in towards the edge of the penalty area. Dessers with a little shove there, I think, on his marker, and St Johnstone breathe again. 26 gone, and it's still 0-0. Let's cross to Pittodrie and hear what's happening there with Willie Miller.
Yeah, not a great deal here, I must say. It's been quite an even game. Although Graham Shinney there brought it to life with about 23 minutes on the clock, bursting forward down the left hand side. That left foot strike from 23 yards or so, Jamal George beaten. It comes off the inside of the post and it trickles across the face of the goal and out for a goal kick. That's been the most exciting aspect of the game. Very even match here so far. Perfect conditions for the game, I must say. Rather wasted with what's in view. Still 0-0.
Thanks, Willie. Willie will keep us up to date with anything that develops in that game. 27 minutes gone here. Still no goals. We saw a couple of replays of that John Suter effort, Kenny. I think it was certainly that one might well have troubled Mitov if it had reached the goal.
Yeah, I think there was so many players in front of the goal. I think it was a St Johnstone player initially, and it might even have hit Dessers as well as he was in front of the goalkeeper trying to sniff out an opportunity.
That's pretty much as close as Rangers have come, in all honesty, for all the possession they've had and the pressure they've had. They haven't really had all that many shots on target. John Suter's effort did look like it was going on target before it took those couple of ricochets that Kenny describes there. Here's Franchak trying to mount a St Johnstone attack, but he's put too much in the pass forward, and no chance for Kucheravi to catch that one. It's out for a goal kick, which gives Jack Butland something to do for more or less the first time in the 28 minutes that were played. And Rangers still in search of that opening goal. Tavernier, an early ball in, it's not a bad ball at all, comes to Dessers, oh, he scored! Cyril Dessers with the opening goal at Ibrox, off the bench, and on the score sheet once more, Cyril Dessers. Terrific ball in from James Tavernier, and it wasn't dealt with at all well by Dari Olafunwa, and there was Cyril Dessers to capitalise and knock it through the legs of Dimitar Mitov. It's Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, that all starts from Conor Goldson for me. Gets the ball, Jack Butland, he doesn't stand, pass it, he runs forward 30-40 yards with intent, with pace, plays it to Tavernier. You know what Tavernier does best, put the ball in the box. Again, for me, has to be dealt with better from the young centre half from St Johnstone, but then again, good composure with his wrong foot, he's stuck it in the bottom corner.
There is a check for offside, Ken. It didn't immediately look like it would be, but you never know in these situations.
No, listen, he was on the line, there's no doubt about it. It was between him and Olafunwa. You could see him making the run, you could see that Tavernier was just going to arc that ball into the space for him to run onto. Again, really poor defending, it should have been dealt with, but when it found its way through to Dessers, he was ruthless with the finish, got it down on his weaker foot, down into the ground and through Mitof's legs.
Yeah, it's a 9th goal of the season if it stands. Let's go to Pittodrie. There's a goal there, is there, Willie?
There is. It's a goal for the visitors, would you believe? And it's Guthrie that gets a touch on it. Curtis Guthrie, the main striker, sliding in as a ball driven from the left-hand side from James Penrice. It was flashed across the face of the goal, and there was Guthrie sliding in, big, long legs, managed to get a good touch on it, and it ends up in the back of the net to give Livingston a goal and the lead here at Pittodrie.
The goal's been given here, I can tell you, after that offside check. It was very marginal when we saw it, as Jayasimi goes in heavily there on John Lundstrom. He could be in trouble here. Alan Muir is trying to keep things calm as the Rangers players object to that heavy challenge from the St Johnstone striker. What's the card going to be? It's a yellow card. I guess that will be checked certainly by Stephen Kirkland, the VAR. Callum, what was your initial take on it?
It's always that difficult when he's actually chasing his touch. These are always the dangerous ones. It just depends how high his foot was. It didn't look great from our angle. We'll just probably need to see it in replay. It's that really dangerous one where you're chasing your touch and you kind of half lunge in. So this will be an interesting one. It's one of those where the referee does he give him a red when he thinks it's a red, or does he just go yellow and go safe and actually just wait for VAR to make a decision?
Well, they're not supposed to do that, but
it's going to do it. You know, they're going to look at it, they're going to slow it down, they're going to still it, and by the looks of things, John Lundstrom's kind of feeling the top of his ankle, so there's no doubt Jayasimi's boot's going to be planted right on the top of it, and if they're checking it, I wouldn't be surprised. Again, we've not seen a replay yet, but just the kind of the pace here and kind of how much pain John Lundstrom looks, he could get the call to this monitor.
Yeah, instinctively I felt like it was a pretty heavy challenge. He was going at some pace, as Callum said. He was chasing his own first touch, and he could be in bother here. Stephen Kirkland, the video assistant referee, is of course looking at it. As Kenny says, we've not seen any replays as yet, but Craig Levine just patrolling his technical area there will absolutely hope that he's not going to be reduced to 10 men, but Alan Muir is going to come and have another look at it. He's being called across to the monitor here, and that could spell bad news for St Johnstone. Well, the still that we are seeing is not pretty, let's put it that way.
Yeah, but we don't do stills. We shouldn't do stills.
No, I agree.
That's the problem.
They do, I know. So it's one of those ones. He has come off the ground, unfortunately. When you watch it back, he's off the ground. Look, he jumps up.
There's a lunge again.
That's got to be a red.
I think it will be. I think change to a red.
I think he could be in trouble. I think if he maybe stayed on his feet and just tried to tackle him, the fact that he's actually jumped off the ground, you know, I think I think he could be in trouble.
Yeah, here's the TV monitor signal being made by Alan Muir. Jayasimi is going to walk here. The yellow card is going to be cancelled, and St Johnstone are going to go down to 10 men. It's a red card shown to the Alain Jayasimi, who trips off the field, and as John Lundstrom tries to shake off the knock he took in that challenge, St Johnstone are going to have to cope with being a man down as well as a goal down for the best part of an hour here.
Unfortunately, it's one of these tackles that we've tried to outlaw. It's that one where you actually are chasing. I know I talk about it as chasing your touch. That's the one we're trying to outlaw, because that's when you lose control, you're frustrated, you jump in. If you catch the guy in the ankle, unfortunately, a red card. And for me, there's no doubt that was a red card.
Rangers have restarted. It's Yilmaz down the left. Can they take advantage immediately of that extra man they have? Daniel Phillips has snuffed out the danger there. Lundstrom is fine, and he's putting the pressure on, as St Johnstone finding it difficult to get out here. Eventually they do. Ball's out of play as Chris Kane's being readied to come on to the park. So St Johnstone, they don't want to operate without a striker at all, so they're going to have to sacrifice one of the other outfield players clearly.
They'll either go 4-4-1 or they'll go 5-3-1. You know, whether they take one of the young centre halves off, or
I think they actually should, Callum, because I don't think that there's 3 centre backs, and I know you come with a game plan, but the outside ones are not even doing anything defensively. You know, they're marking nobody. You need, I think, even early with the 4, they're finding it hard enough, the midfield 4, to cover the width of the pitch. If they'll go 3, you would just be absolutely killing them. So I think maybe Olafunyo, even he's not started the game great, he's had a hand in the goal, he could be the one that maybe gets sacrificed.
Well, we're about to find out as Chris Kane stretches himself off and prepares to come on. He was the man who scored that famous late equaliser, as Callum mentioned, in the Scottish Cup quarter-final. And it's going to be Sven Spangler who's going to come off, actually, so a central midfielder. So
I still think they're going to go 4. I'm just watching Andy Kirk on the sideline. It looks like it's a 4. Yeah, I think they put the young lad up front, probably in the more natural position, so wide to the right. Young Max is probably going in the middle and just go 4-4-1.
Well, the guys will just keep an eye on how that develops, but that's the expert call as Chris Kane comes on for Sven Spangler. 34, almost 35 minutes played. It's Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0, but St Johnstone just in the last few moments down to 10 men, with Dialang Jayasimi showing a red card for a pretty crude challenge on John Lundstrom. I just want to cross back to Petodzi, because, Willie, we didn't really get a chance to follow up on the goal going in for Livingston. I can only imagine that has not gone down particularly well in those parts.
No, it hasn't. You know, and I'm sure as the game goes on, if Aberdeen can't get back into this game, and Penrite's on the attack again down the left-hand side, that they will start to turn. You know, so far they're still with the team. It hasn't been a great spectacle, I must say. I don't think Aberdeen have put enough energy into it. They haven't been quick enough with their passes. They certainly haven't been offensive enough. You know, apart from that shinny shot, that now, is it on target? If it's supposed, I don't think it is it? So I don't think they have had a shot on target as yet. That was the nearest they came to it, was a shinny. Was rather unlucky to see it, you know, hit the inside of the post, but they've got to lift their game, there's no doubt about that, because as this game goes on, the natives are going to get more and more restless.
Yeah, certainly imagine so. Thanks for the update, Willie, as Rangers come forward looking for a second goal. 1-0 they leads here as Tavernier picks up, plays it to Dessers with the shot, Vitov with the save, and recovers to gather the second time around as well. Good link up there between Tavernier and Dessers, who does look out for me, Kenny, in the last couple of weeks, that he's just finding that bit of confidence. Clearly the goals are going to help with that.
Yeah, and listen, his goal last week in Seville was absolutely outstanding. Great ability. I mean, that's another really good chance. I think it just takes a nick off the defender, which makes it a little bit easier for the goalkeeper, to be honest with you. But it was good play initially between there. I think it was Dowell that wrapped a pass into Tavernier, who just laid it off of Dessers. Really good play. Listen, we said it was going to be a long night for St Johnstone, then down to 10 men now. It's going to even be tougher for them to even mount any kind of attack.
Trying to do that right now. It's Kucheravi, though, plays it back the way to Phillips, and just trying to keep the ball for any length of time has been a challenge for them thus far, and that's what they're trying to do as they go back the way to the goalkeeper. But 8 minutes left, plus a good, I'm going to say maybe 6 or 7 minutes at the end of this, given the VAR delay as well as the 2 early stoppages. There's a sliding challenge there.
This is getting ridiculous now. This is absolutely ridiculous. He's slidden and played the ball clean.
It didn't even look like a foul to me.
He's played the ball clean, like way before. Like, by the way, this will get checked. This will get checked.
So this is my argument. He's got the ball here. He's done nothing else he can do.
He's done nothing wrong.
Dessers just ran into him late.
Yeah, it's the follow through. Is what.
But by the way, that's the exact same. It's the exact same. It's the studs of the boot on Dessers' ankle.
Yeah, it's probably just the timing slightly different. That's why he should get away with getting.
Well, listen, I certainly hope he does, because I don't even think it's a booking.
Has he been booked? Did he get booked?
I think he booked.
Did he? I didn't know.
I'm sure.
Oh, he did. Sorry,
did not.
Been told in my ear he did. But yeah, I don't think.
See, I don't get that as a booking. I don't think I'd have lasted 5 minutes in a game nowadays, you know, for that. But I think poor decision. That's one that has to be looked at, you know, and the rules have to be looked at and changed.
It's certainly one that, I mean, obviously, I come from the same era as you guys in terms of.
You look older.
I can't. I don't know where to go with that.
Sorry.
No.
But as you two are talking, Dessers just missed another chance, by the way. Just
the notion of the challenge, the type of challenges that go punish or get punished now in terms of the follow through, even though the ball is played, and it's something I guess maybe just our generation have to adapt to, or maybe, as you say, the laws need.
I don't think we need to. I think it needs to be looked at and changed, because there's nothing wrong with that challenge. By the way, Dessers is the one that went in for it.
There's a shot from the edge of the box there from Lammers, and Mitov comfortably holds that one, but Rangers beginning to pepper that St Johnstone goal now, 39 minutes in. Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Rangers look really up for it. You know, the energy levels have been fantastic. Considering they just won the trophy on Sunday, you know, they've had a couple of big games, their energy levels have been fantastic this first half.
That's again, you've touched on Dessers. That's another really nice touch, just to cushion it into the path of Lammers, who took it first time, caught it sweet, but straight down the throat of Mitov.
Rangers throw in midway inside their own half. Yilmaz back to Butland. There's a pretty relaxed atmosphere now round Ibrox, with the home fans having seen the opening goal go in their favour, and then St Johnstone reduced to 10 men. I think they have the feeling that there will be more goals for their side if they can keep up the type of momentum and tempo that they've shown so far. They might not be far wrong, as Yilmaz brushes Franchak aside and Lundstrom picks up and drives towards the St Johnstone penalty area. Plays it to Sima, who tries to return the favour. Phillips, though, in the way, doing well to keep possession under real pressure. Then plays the pass to Franchak, who does well as also to get the pass off to Kucheravi. Good play there from the two young St Johnstone players, as Franchak just picks himself up, hobbling slightly. But, this is all new to him. 16 years old, playing in front of the best part of 50,000 here at Ibrox. Some experience, but it's going to be a testing evening for the young man and his teammates. As St Johnstone take the throw in on the left hand side, Robinson gets it forward, Smith, but then McCausland steps in and plays it back to Butland. Rangers looking to go within 2 points of leaders Celtic, remember, this evening, with a game in hand still, with that old firm game at Celtic Park looming on the 30th of December. Here's Conor Goldson. 5 minutes of the opening 45 remaining, plus stoppage time. Tavernier sends the ball in, headed away by Considine, only as far as Yilmaz, just outside the box, out to the left hand side for Sima, just shifts it onto the right foot. Good challenge from Franchak, gets it half clear. Lundstrom plays it to Suter. Now Goldson. Every single Rangers player barring Butlander is within 40 yards of the St Johnstone goal. Here's Tavernier now, plays it square for Suter, about 35-40 yards out. Rangers looking for a way through to find that second goal. St Johnstone could really do with keeping it as tight as possible, at least until the interval. They don't want to be shipping more goals before half time, but it has gone behind for a St Johnstone goal kick. 41 on the clock. Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, really important for St Johnstone here. They've just got to be patient. They've got to be really disciplined in their shape. Got to make it really difficult for Rangers to get that second goal, because once the second goal goes in, we know it's going to be a long night anyway, but it'll be even longer. So as long as St Johnstone keep it 1-0, there's always a glimmer, there's always a little chance, a set play, something to stay in the game. So it's really important between now and half time St Johnstone don't concede again.
Goal kick taken, but all the way through off the head of Conor Goldson, back to Jack Butland, and quickly out to James Tavernier, and now Goldson once more. Plays out to the left hand side. Yilmaz will bring that under control. Plays it short ball to Sima. Sima tracked by Olafunwa. And then back the way to Suter. Now Goldson. Remember, St Johnstone down to 10 men after the ordering off of Jaisimi. Forward it goes to Dessers. He's just overrun that. First touch wasn't quite good enough, and then Mitov quickly off his line to grasp that before Dessers could do any more damage. And there's been a goal at Pittodrie. Willie Miller, who's it for?
Yeah, it's an equaliser for the Dons. It was Nicky Devlin down the right hand side. Brilliant cross into the box, and who else but Bojan Majowski coming back towards the penalty spot. He manages to manoeuvre the header. It goes in off the near post, but it certainly lands in the back of the net to give Aberdeen that equaliser. 1-1 here at Pittodrie.
Thanks, Willie. 1-0 here to Rangers, who just won the ball back just inside the St Johnstone half. Dessers looking to try and keep it under pressure. Out on the right hand side, plays it off Smith, and it's out for a throw in to Rangers, more or less on the halfway line, quickly taken by McCausland.
Yeah, just on that previous attack there, Rangers, it was another really good pass for Kieran Dyle, right through the heart of St Johnstone midfield and defence, breaking the lines and into Dessers. He just couldn't get the ball under control to lead to a shot on goal.
He's got that sort of left foot. He's got that little feint, hasn't he? He's got that little disguise in his pass. You know, all the good left footers have it. And he's got that little. He looks like he's got
yourself among those.
No, not at all. As you know, I didn't mention that once, but I think he's got that quality of pass that, you know, could unlock defences.
It wasn't a bad left foot, to be fair. It's a St Johnstone free kick. There's the offside flag up on the far side against Sima, just on the edge of the St Johnstone box, as we approach the final minute of the opening 45. But there will be a significant amount of time, you'd imagine, added on at the end of the first half. There were a couple of early head knocks that required treatment, and also the VAR check for the ultimate ordering off of Jayasimi. So probably at least 5 or 6 minutes left to play here at Ibrox in the first period, as Tavernier picks up over on the far side, just inside his own half, plays it forward to McCausland. Back now with Tavernier, and Dowell once more, who's certainly done his chances of further game time no harm, it would appear, in this opening half. Suter forward, it's a good ball for Yilmaz, left hand side of the box, cuts it across dangerously. Considine was in the way, McCausland trying to keep it alive. St Johnstone hack it clear only as far as Lundstrom. Now it's Tavernier on the edge of the penalty area into Dowell. Dowell about 30 yards out, trying to find room perhaps for the shot, swivelling away from Kane, plays it back to Goldson, applauded by the home fans who've enjoyed what they've seen of Kieran Dowell so far this evening. Forward from McCausland to Lammers on the right hand side, lovely little touch away from Phillips, and then was he fouled? He was indeed, in the view of Alan Muir. Right hand side of the penalty is a yellow card for Dan Phillips. 7 minutes to be added on at the end of this first half, and we're just ticking into them now.
Yeah, again, it was a great pass by Suter. Obviously, we used to watch him play. He's fantastic stepping in with the ball and playing that forward passing. Again, I think we talked about earlier, played that pass in front of Yilmaz, put in a fantastic position. I was expecting actually a better cross there from Yilmaz, and he's probably, he's neither put it in behind him, but he's not cut it back either. And I think it was a great pass by Suter to get him in a real dangerous area.
So Rangers have a free kick about 7 or 8 yards maybe from the goal line, to the right hand side of the penalty area. Tavernier is over it as they look to add to their one goal so far. He's tried to cut it back, and it was well read by Matt Smith, who cut out the ball back, but Rangers have won it back. Lundstrom trying to flick it forward. That's a poor pass back, but just manages to reach Mitov, who was on his toes there to clear before Dessers pounced, and Rangers have a throw in. We're into injury time. It's Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0, 1-1 up at Pittodrie. We'll get a full account of that first half from Willie at half-time in this game, which is 5 or 6 minutes away. We're into a lengthy period of stoppage time as Goldson plays it square to Suter. Midway inside the St Johnstone half, out to the left-hand side for Yilmaz. Back now with Lundstrom. St Johnstone with everyone back. There are 9 outfield players, including Chris Kane, just patrolling the edge of his own penalty area as McCausland plays it short to Dowell. Quick ball into Tavernier, back with Dowell on the angle of the box on the right hand side. Not such a good pass that time, looking for McCausland. Nicked by Kane, who does well to then buy the free kick from the challenge of Connor Goldson, and allows his team a bit of respite, and a yellow card for Connor Goldson into the bargain there. And it's good striker play, you'd have to say, good experience play from Chris Kane to just get his side a rest and get them up the park a bit.
And he's going to need to do more of that as this game progresses into the second half, when they're going to be putting so much work in to keep Rangers at bay. Once you get a hold of it, you need to try and get your team up the pitch. Buy fouls like he did there. This is absolutely invaluable for Chris Kane there to get his team just a little bit of respite.
Forward from Phillips down the left hand side, but a rather wayward pass and straight out of play in the end, and Tavernier quickly throws it back to Jack Butland. A couple of minutes gone of the 7 minutes added on at the end of this first period. Suter brings it forward as Rangers look to try and add to their 1 goal advantage before the break. Suter on the halfway line, clips it out to the right hand side. Too much on it though for Tavernier, and it's out for a throw into St Johnstone, who won't be in. Oh, he says it took a nick off Chris Kane on its way there, did it?
I think it did.
Good spot from Alan Muir and yourself, Kerry. 1-1 at half-time at Pittodrie. As I say, we'll get a full report there from Willie Miller once the whistle goes here. Here's Lammers, just tries to poke that through for Dessers, but it got it wrong, and St Johnstone able to clear out to this near side. Kane just overpowering Suter there, but unfairly, reckoned Alan Muir. And it would be a free kick Rangers way. You don't agree with that one, Cal?
No, just good striker play, isn't it? You know, Kenny would do that himself. He would just bang into somebody. I think it was, you know, you do get fouls for that now, though.
Centre back's buying the foul, feel the contact and go down.
Here's Lundstrom down the left-hand side for Yilmaz. About 35 yards from the goal line, back with Lundstrom. And now into Kieran Dowell, midway inside the St Johnstone half, out to the right-hand side for Tavernier. One touch and then tries to get the cross in. Smith was quickly across there to block. It's a Rangers throw-in, 25 yards from the corner flag. Back it goes to Goldson. Goldson with time to measure his cross here to the back post. He was looking for Sima, well away that time by Olafunwa. St Johnstone will try to come clear, but Suter just too strong there for Franchak and plays it to his left-hand side for Yilmaz. Forward for Sima. Sima out on the left flank, comes back in field to Lundstrom. 4 minutes gone of the 7 added on at the end of this first period. It's Goldson. Rangers looking for a second goal before the break. Yilmaz now on the left-hand side. Back in field it goes to Goldson. No St Johnstone player within 20 yards of him. Out to the right-hand side for McCausland. Forward for Dowell now on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Back there in a kind of no man's land, and Kane's able to pick that one up, and St Johnstone can bring it forward. It's Matt Smith closest to Kane, who picks up possession, but Rangers quickly win it back on the halfway line, looking to mount another attack. Suter now plays it to Yilmaz on the halfway line. Forward he comes, looks to play it inside the right centre back in Olasuma, but it was too close to the goalkeeper, and Sima had never a chance of getting on to the end of that. Almost 5 minutes added on so far at the end of this first period. Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, I think it's important Rangers once you have that much possession, I think sometimes you can get a little bit slack, a little bit sloppy. I'm sure the manager will be saying that to my half-time. You've got to keep that crisp pass and the tempo there. I think when you slow it down, you give St Johnstone those little bits, that booking for Goldson just from a sloppy pass. I think it's really important that Rangers keep that tempo, keep the quality there, keep getting into the final third really quickly and asking questions of St Johnstone.
Here's Goldson. Just noticing, Kenny, that Rangers have tended to play that 4-2-3-1, but clearly with a man advantage now, it's Lundstrom's really seems to be the only sitter as such. Dowell's been allowed to roam much further forward, not really having to come back at all.
Listen, he's changed it up a couple of times over the last month or so.
Here's a chance for Tavernier. Oh, he has a rocket not too far wide of Mitov's right-hand post. Love to see a replay of that to see just how much that missed by, but he certainly got a hold of the shot, but as it is, it flew wide, and it remains Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, certainly did get a hold of it. He just found himself in the box again, unmarked in behind Phillips, and he gets everything on it. I mean, it does look like it's a fair bit wide. Mitov not really troubled as much as the ball was travelling, but it was just going on that. I think when you're playing against 10 men, obviously you can commit more bodies forward, but he's went with Tom Lawrence and Todd Cantwell as kind of two more kind of further forward midfielders ahead of Lundstrom over the last few weeks as well.
I think it's just natural as well. Once you're down to 10 men, who's the midfielder that's going to go? Who's the one that's going to attack? And it's obviously him going to attack. Lundstrom naturally sits anyway, but you might see them changing, but I think probably more so just themselves. They will kind of change it within the game.
Into the final minute of the 7 added on as Rangers look for a second goal. Lammers just managing to hold on to possession under pressure from Phillips. 1-0 they lead, with St Johnstone down to 10. Jayasimi ordered off. Desser's the substitute with the only goal on early on for the injured Kemar Roof. It's Suter in possession, just seconds remaining of the opening 45 plus 7. Square it goes to Goldson. Craig Levine looking for the half-time whistle. It's McCausland on the right-hand side. We have played the 7 minutes now. Alan Muir hasn't blown as yet as Goldson plays it square for Suter, 30 yards from goal. He goes for goal, it comes off Gordon, back to Sima out to the left hand side. Yilmaz crossing opportunity behind for a corner. Will there be time for it to be taken? No, there won't. Alan Muir points towards the tunnel as Craig Levine shakes the head as he troops down that tunnel. His side trailed by a goal to 0, scored on 29 minutes by Cyril Dessers. Cross came in from James Tavernier, and when it wasn't dealt with by Dari Olafunwa, there was Dessers to play it through the legs of the St Johnstone goalkeeper Dimitar Mitov for the opening goal. Rangers hadn't really troubled Mitov until that point, despite having absolutely dominated proceedings in terms of possession. But just a couple of minutes after that goal went in, St Johnstone went down to 10. Jayasimi went in strongly on John Lundstrom. Initial yellow shown by Alan Muir, but it was looked at by the VAR, Stephen Kirkland, and Alan Muir was invited to come across and look at it again on the monitor, and when he did, he changed his mind and showed the red. Dessers and Lammers have had shot saves since. and Tavernier sent a powerful effort just wide in injury time. But Rangers haven't been able to add to the lead despite the man advantage. But importantly for them, they do lead at the interval. It's Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder. Oh!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Join me, Roddy Hart, for some early Christmas presents. I'll have live music from Texas.
So here it is. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, everybody!
Singer-songwriter Natty brings her own festive fun to the party.
Are you ready to get festive again? Welcome to my Christmas song.
And BBC introducing Scottish Act of the Year, Terrakin, completes our sparkling lineup.
Why can't you just fall into love?
It's your first chance to hear Christmas at the Quay tonight from 8 on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
We've got Premiership action for you on Sports Sound this evening. Live commentary from here at Ibrox, where Rangers are 1-0 up against St Johnstone. Cyril Destas with a goal on 30 minutes. Just 3 minutes later, Saints down to 10 men. Jaisimi sent off after a VAR review. Let's then get to the other game in the top flight this evening. It's at Pittodrie, Aberdeen against Livingston. There for us, Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, it's 1-1 at half-time, and believe me, there is nothing in this game whatsoever. I think Aberdeen starting the game in a lacklustre fashion, not direct enough, not quick enough, not energetic enough, and certainly Livingston pretty good for their lead on 28 minutes. They had an opportunity to score before that with Joel Newbley, cross from Brandon, the right-hand side, good header but well saved. By Kel Roos in goal for Aberdeen. Their best effort early in the game after 23 minutes from round about 23 yards was a shinny shot that left foot drove it towards the far post. It hit the inside of the far post and actually went out the pitch at the other side of the goal as it rolled along the goal line. But it was in 28 minutes when the visitors took the lead, and it was a pen-raised drive down the left-hand side. They just flashed it across the face of the goal. Curtis Guthrie was the striker who read it. He got in, he's got the big long legs, he slides in, and he makes contact with the ball and ends up in the back of the net. At that point, Aberdeen are looking, a bit of a sorry sight, but they did fight back, and they started to gain a bit of momentum and get a little bit more pressure, but it took them until the 42nd minute before they could get that equaliser. Bojan Miovski, I mean, he is a striker, top quality striker indeed. It was a fantastic cross from Nicky Devlin down the right hand side, but Miovski's going away from goal round about the penalty spot. He has to manoeuvre his neck and his head to get a bullet header that goes in off the near post, so that gave them the equaliser. But Scott Pittman had a really good opportunity and a good effort just from the edge of the box before the Miovski goal that could have made it 2. He's turned just on the edge of the box, he's hit it with his right foot. The shot looked as though Roos was going to take it quite easily, but he actually fumbled it. But fortunately for him, there wasn't enough pace on the ball to see it roll over the line. So I think Livingston are well worth the fact that it's level at half-time here at Pittodrie, 1-1.
Well, what's the atmosphere like there? I think particularly when the Dons went a goal down. We spoke before the game, as we've done a lot recently, to be fair, about the pressure on Barry Robson. A lot of the fans just not happy. A lot not happy really with the style of play as well. What's it been like in the stadium tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the fans haven't been too bad, Kenny, surprisingly. So, there hasn't been, a round of boos going around as there has been in other games here at Pittodrie. And I think the fact that you get that equaliser just before half-time as well, it kind of calms the fans down a little bit. No, they seem to be in a festive mood tonight, willing to take a lacklustre performance, and it was a lacklustre performance. I think they would be looking for something higher tempo and much more direct than they've had in this first half. And of course, Livingston are a difficult side. They're tall, they're strong, they're physical, they're well organised at the back. They do go direct, but they've got good support from midfield, and they have created, 2 or 3 chances out with the goal that they scored themselves. So, you know, don't believe it if anybody tells you after this game that in the first half the Aberdeen were on top, because that's not the case. It was very, very even. The scoreline reflects that, and the fact of the possession and the amount of chances created certainly reflects that as well. 1-1 at half-time is a fair scoreline.
Plenty more to come from Willie Miller. We heard from Davy Martindale ahead of the game. He was confident he would keep Livy up again in the top flight this season. He did say, though, if he does that, it will be his greatest achievement at that football club. Kenny Miller, decent atmosphere here at half-time, actually. Santa Claus making an appearance out on the pitch there.
Yeah, and he's getting cheered, not getting booed. Yeah, it's a good appearance for Santa with a
I wonder where Brian
League Cup trophy.
I wonder where Brian McLaughlin's just gone.
Yeah, multitasking again is there, Brian, that's for sure. What have you made of the first half here, Kenny?
You know, it's not been great. Rangers have been completely dominant, and they were even before the man got sent off. St Johnstone have came with a game plan to try and frustrate and stay in the game as long as they can, which is fair enough. Many a team do come to Ibrox and set their stall out, but again, even within it, you just felt it was a matter of time before Rangers got the opening goal. They got it. St Johnstone then go down to 10 men, and it's one-way traffic. I mean, if Craig Levine's got any hope of getting anything in it, they'll have to try and stay in it. They need to try and get a set play, but they need to try and find a way to get up the pitch. I mean, Jack Butland's, I think he's maybe had 1 or 2 touches over the course of the first half, so it's pretty comfortable so far for Rangers. I would just say again, they need to keep that tempo up, though. Even that last kind of 5-10 minutes, everything was in front of St Johnstone. They were just so comfortable and so easy. Everybody was getting on the ball, wanting to play a part, but there still needs to be penetration. There still needs to be a bit of intensity to how they attack to go and get the next goals.
Yeah, as for St Johnstone, and it's tough, isn't it? They came here, as Kenny said, Callum, with a game plan. That goes out the window after the half-hour mark. And it must be frustrating for Craig Levein. So if he could have held things together, he does have options, striking options, decent striking options in the bench tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I look at the St Johnstone lads warming up, the ones on the bench, and there's a lot of good experience there. You know, Nicky Clark, Stevie May, Graham Carey, Ryan McGowan, to name a few. I think it's really difficult. I think you've actually got to credit Rangers rather than have a go at St Johnstone. I thought Rangers, sometimes you come here and they're slowing their tempo and you have a little chance to have a little nibble. But I actually think the tempo's been incredible from Rangers. The way they passed it, Suter, Goldson stepping in, playing positive passes. And all it does is force St Johnstone back the way, and then it's a long afternoon for St Johnstone, and then get the man sent off. You know, that's something you can't do when you come here. You can't do that. The game plan from Craig would probably stay in the game. And as you just mentioned there, the strikers on the pitch, they could go on and do something and try and cause an upset and try and get a result, but it's going to be a long second half for St Johnstone. I think it's really important they try and stay in the game as long as they can, because as soon as they go 2-0 down, it becomes even harder task, and then if they try and have a go again, it could concede again. So I think it's really important to stay in it. You know, it's not it doesn't become a great spectacle when you go against 10 men. So I think it's, no matter what teams you're playing against, it becomes a sort of lopsided game, and we're definitely seeing that tonight.
Do you think we're starting, Kenny, to see a player in Cyril Dessers? He came on after that real unfortunate injury again for Keymaru. He was devastated when he left the park tonight.
Yeah, you could see that again, and you're just hoping it's just something that's just a little niggle, but again, it does, these wee niggles do seem to have plagued Kemaru's Rangers career so far. But again, Cyril Dessers comes on, he's got a few important goals of late. I think he's like a number of players since Philippe Clement's come in. He seems to be playing a little bit better. He seems to be playing a little bit more free. He's maybe not quite feeling the pressures that he was feeling before, and again, that's what I think the biggest impact that Philippe Clement's had is he seems to be giving the players a better feeling about themselves, a little bit more confidence, a little bit belief, because it's not just his goal, because he's had a couple of chances as well in the first half, but there's a couple of his touches. You know, he's laid one off to Sam Lammers, who got the shot off. He linked up with Tavernier as well, so I think his game is just it's a little bit tidier. You know, I still think there's a lot more required from Cyril Dessers, but he's scoring goals at this moment in time. You know, whether he's playing or whether he's coming off the bench, he's impacting the game. And I'll go back to that goal in Seville against Betis on Thursday. It was just an outstanding ability, and then real composure to go and slot it away in a big game on a big night. So I mean, you're hoping that the fans are now maybe responding a little bit better to him, because I think that's the biggest thing for him. If he can turn that kind of negativity around, even just a little bit from the stands, I think it'll allow him maybe just to play a little bit freer. You know,
Kenny, I
without
think he's
that burden.
deliberately doing that. See, I know you're at Hampden yourself on Sunday. He was leading the celebrations behind the goal there with the Rangers fans. I was even just watching him tonight when he's done a couple of flicks or gone close. There's a fair bit of interaction with the fans. He's looking over to them, he's getting them on side. I think this is maybe a deliberate ploy by him, because it was a tough few weeks for him.
Yeah, I think so. I think also as well, the team are winning games. You know, so I think it's a massive thing for a striker. Sometimes when they're under pressure, if your teammates can help you out, you know, can they win games without you scoring? All of a sudden, then you start to chip in a few goals. All of a sudden, your confidence starts to rise. Great results in Europe, win the cup. Obviously, that's a massive thing for him, you know, and I think there you can maybe see his real character coming out now. Whereas beforehand he's under pressure, he's thinking I need to score. Now the team have helped him, now he's scoring a few. Now you may be seeing sort of the real player and the real sort of character that he is.
We've spoken a lot, Kenny, about players taking their opportunity, and I've been watching Philippe Clement down below us here in the touchline getting actually very frustrated at times with Yilmaz down this left hand side. He's not really convincing, is he, Yilmaz?
No, and I think it's just it's about getting into the right positions. It's then once you're in there, the execution of the crosses or the pass, it's just been off. I mean, you've seen the first one, it got ballooned into the stand. You know, that's for a professional football player at Rangers on your strong foot. That should just be an easy feed into the box with some good quality, you know. So you can understand why. I think on the other hand, he would maybe be looking at how Kieran Dowell's played, and he might be quite happy with what he's seen. There's no doubt he's got an eye for a pass. He's played 2 or 3 wonderful passes through. I think the first one into Tavernier, second one into Dessers. If Dessers gets it under control, it's a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, so he's breaking line. So there's been positives in there, but I'll go back to, I think, for Yilmaz and for everybody else in the Rangers team on this pitch in the second half, they still need to play with a better tempo. There still needs to be penetration in St Johnstone's backline. They still need to move the ball quickly to move St Johnstone across the pitch, because at the moment they're just getting it their own way. I mean, you have to think, I was saying it, like 10 Rangers players from 35 yards down towards the goal, and they're all just passing it about and everybody's enjoying getting a touch of the ball. But there's a game to be won, you know, and by the way, the goal difference can come into play. You just never know. So you need to keep that intensity, you need to keep the tempo up, you need to penetrate the back line and go and score more goals, because it's a real opportunity tonight to go and maybe put a 3 or a 4 on the scoreboard.
What will Craig Levein be saying to these players, St Johnstone players down below us right now? Another really tough shift. As Chris Kane come on there after the sending off, and you just watch that roll up front. That when Kenny will played that before himself. You know, it's a thankless task sometimes, isn't it, Callum?
Yeah, I think it's funny because he'd probably be happy in a way in the first half. Well, probably before obviously the goal and the sending off, because they'd limited him to very few chances. Probably in possession, you know, I think they were a little bit sloppy. The big lad up front, he should have actually held in a few times. So he'll be saying, when you got on the ball, make sure you're good in possession. You know, make sure you play the right passes, make the right decision, stay off your shape. Make sure you're not broken, as Kenny was saying, try to break the lines. Make sure you're nice and solid, make it really difficult. Then when you get opportunities to go forward, you have to go forward and be positive and take a little chance, because you've got to get something out of the game. On the flip side of that is then that game that opens up for Rangers. But I think with Craig, you know, he's also probably more of a defensive kind of coach, and he'll be setting them up to try and do that and try and get a free kick. You've got Graham Carey on the bench, you know, who can score from anywhere on the pitch. Great delivery. So he'll be hoping that as the longer the game goes on, it's still 1-0, 65, 70 minutes. Then you might see a few changes from him, from St Johnstone.
Interesting, Kenny, hearing the updates coming from Pittodrie from Willie Miller. My goodness, what a shock when Curtis Guthrie put Livy ahead in 28 minutes. But Aberdeen right back in it on 42 minutes. Miofsky, who else? They're underway there, so Willie will keep us updated on that. But that's just got the feeling, Kenny, for both these sides of a big game there tonight.
It has, and I think it's for different reasons as well. I think Livingston are starting to get cut a little bit adrift at the bottom of that league, so it's a big result. And if they can go and get the 3 points tonight, it just actually puts them back onto the coattails of Aberdeen. So it's a chance. But for Aberdeen, I mean, Willie touched on it before the game. Sitting 10th place, joint second bottom, is just not good enough for that football club, and they're no European football now. They've not got the distraction of the cup final. They need to start putting kind of wins on the board, and they've got a real opportunity over these next 5 fixtures to do that. But if they don't, you know, this is where, like, the question marks are there about Barry Robson, about Aberdeen, and can they actually put a sustained run of wins together? But they're not going to get a better opportunity than this over the next 5 games.
Well, we'll bring us all the updates on Pittodrie. We're just about to get it underway here at Ibrox for the second half. It's Rangers against St Johnstone with Kenny Miller, Callum Davidson and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks, Kenny. Rangers change at the interval, and it's John Lundstrom who is being replaced by Dujon Sterling back into that central midfield role, in which he played pretty well, you'd have to say, not only on Sunday but also in the second half against Real Betis out in Seville. So I wonder if John Lundstrom feeling the effects of that challenge that led to the sending off of Dialang Jayasimi. We are back underway here at Ibrox, 1-0 Rangers, and Dujon Sterling immediately winning the ball back for Rangers from the kick-off by St Johnstone, and that sets Sima off down the left-hand side. Trying to get the cross in, it comes off a St Johnstone player, and that's how to make an impact, straight on as a sub, and immediately winning possession for your side.
That's when Craig will be going nuts, because you'll be obviously wanting them to play, but he's playing in the right areas. You know, from kick-off he's just giving Rangers a great chance to put the ball in the box.
Yeah, corner kick then from the left to be taken by Yilmaz, outswinger, headed back towards goal, but an easy take for Mitov. Sima was going away from goal and trying to strain the neck muscles to get it back on target, but as I say, a comfortable take for Dimitar Mitov. And Kenny, what did you make of Sterling? You were at both those games, I think, out in Seville, as well as the Hampden. Sterling in that role that we haven't really seen him play before.
Yeah, listen, I thought he'd done a good job in both games, but it's a specific kind of job that he's done. You know, he's in there to be the dog, he's in there to show good legs and physicality, and he done it great, particularly against Betis and Seville. That was a kind of game that he needed to display all those kind of attributes that he's got. I think on Sunday again he done well, but for me, for a Rangers midfield, and I know there wasn't many options, I think they should have had a little bit more control of the football in the game from that area of the pitch. But again, he done his job, the role that he would probably be asked to do really, really well.
Yeah, I was quite impressed as well. I actually thought his energy levels were brilliant. I think Kenny's right. I think when you look to control a game, you know, I think he's not probably that midfielder that you'd want it in the midfield at Rangers, but the job he did on Sunday and on Thursday was terrific.
And it was need must, because they were absolutely down to the bare bones in that area of the pitch, and again, for him to go on, I think it was only his third start of the season in the cup final there, so to go on and perform the way he did, he deserves every credit.
St Johnstone have it with Mitov, rolls it back out to Considine. Considine tries to play it forward to Smith. Considine once more, left hand side, midway inside his own half. Forward it goes to Robinson, back with Considine once more, plays it forward, but Chris Kane was on his way back towards the halfway line.
I think Chris was frustrated there, because he's actually made 2 runs already waiting for that ball. It's gone forward, gone back, then it's when you go in behind. He's actually, Rangers playing quite a high line, you know, a little bit dangerous from Rangers, because if St Johnstone can get that, if they can break, sort of get in behind once.
Here's McCausland getting in behind on the right hand side, turns away from one challenge. Robinson trying to hold him up, McCausland still battling away, trying to get Forsett across. Eventually it's a Rangers corner on the right hand side this time, but McCausland almost getting away and able to get the cross or shot in, but good defending in the end by Luke Robinson. Rangers corner then from the right hand side, 48 minutes on the clock, and Tavernier poised to take this corner kick from the right hand side against the outswinger. Sima on the end of it, but it's well wide off the right boot of Sima, who will probably feel he should have been able to hook that on target, but it flew 2 or 3 yards wide of Mitov's left hand post, and it remains after 48 minutes Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, better delivery from the corners there. I think they've had probably 4 or 5 outswinging corners where the ball's probably ended up roundabout just past the penalty spot, 14 yards. That was a much better delivery from Tavernier from their right hand side, and I think it's actually come off his shin. He just couldn't quite get his foot round it, but it was a really good chance.
Well, St Johnstone haven't won away from home since May. The only goal they've got in the Premiership away from home this season was an own goal, and they're down to 10 men against an informed Rangers side. It would be a pretty optimistic St Johnstone fan that fancied them to take anything from this game, but at 1-0 they will feel they still have an opportunity perhaps. Here come Rangers looking to stretch their advantage. It's Tavernier into Dowell. Looked like there might have been a handball in there, but play continues as Tavernier wins it back on the right-hand side of the box. Tries to dink it in, but it's an easy take again for Mitov inside his 6-yard box. 49 in. 1-0 to Rangers as Mitov bowls it out to Kucheravi, out to the right-hand side to Olafunwa, who's now playing as a right full-back. What's turned into a back four for St Johnstone since that red card just after the half-hour mark. Dowell's lost out in the midfield to Smith, and it's just a little bit open at the moment as Kucheravi plays it back in field, and it's Franchak picking up. Does well to keep possession under pressure there from Lammers, and now Considine 10 yards inside his own half. Plays it forwards for Smith. Robinson takes over, and it's back to Considine once more. Probably had more possession in the early stages of this second half than they had, certainly for a concerted period, in the entirety of the first half. It's given away though by Franchak to Sterling. 5 minutes of the second period gone. No further goals as yet. Still 1-1 at Pittodrie between Aberdeen and Livingston. A game both of those sides really could do with winning. As Goldson plays it to Sterling, out to the left-hand side it goes to Yilmaz, well advanced on that left flank, cuts it back the way for Sima, angle of the box, back once more to Sterling. Sterling plays it square to Dowell. Dowell about 35 yards from goal. Sterling plays it forward, but it's well cut out there at the edge of his own box by Olafunwa. St Johnstone again having to work extremely hard to follow the runs, stay with the runners and cut out the passes. As Goldson picks up 10 yards inside the St Johnstone half and plays it out to the right-hand side for Tavernier, who plays a low ball in. Almost reached Lammers. Phillips had tried to intercept it and didn't manage to do so, but Lammers hadn't anticipated that, and the ball was eventually cleared away. Rangers will come again. It's Tavernier playing it square for John Suter, midway inside the St Johnstone half, steps forward and plays it out to the left-hand side for Sima, angle of the box on the left. Yilmaz is ahead of him, cuts it back, chance here for Lammers, great save by Mitov. Down goes Dessers as Mitov comes back out, cleared away as far as Sima, can't get the shot away, and Kucheravi manages to clear his lines, and here goes Kane racing away as Sterling tries to get back at him. It's good play from Sterling. He's eventually dragged to the ground by Kane. I thought for a moment that Kane was going to run away from him, but Sterling put the afterburners on and got back at him. Meanwhile, Cyril Dessers is still claiming for a penalty. He did go down under a challenge from Mitov, but it didn't look like
I actually thought it was Andy Considine was holding him as he was trying to get the ball.
Right.
Nah, it's nothing. It's actually nothing. Striker making a meal of it again, Kenny.
Yeah, it was a brilliant save for Mitov though for Lammers. The first real opportunity for the second half for Rangers. I would just say that like this opening 7 minutes, it's a very static attack for Rangers. You know, there's very little movement. You know, even when Lammers almost got in from the Tavernier pass, it wasn't a real great run. It wasn't any kind of run at speed. It's just static.
It was a massive mistake by Andy Considine. He jumped out a hole and actually just left Lammers standing still.
Exactly. So again, no real movement. They're just kind of waiting for someone to do something. And create or score a goal, but even if, like as we're speaking right now, like it's just all Rangers players just standing in positions, nobody really moving, asking a St Johnstone defender any real questions.
Here's McCausland though up to the edge of the penalty area, plays it into Dessers. Dessers trying to get it back to him, didn't quite come off, but it came back to Dessers, and still at the second time of asking he couldn't make anything off it. Again, Rangers have won it back in a dangerous area. Franchak losing out to Yilmaz, and now it's Sima left hand side. Yilmaz picks up once more. It'll break out to Sima again. He'll just see it out, I think, for a corner kick over on that far side. The Rangers left. Indeed, that's what he does. And Rangers will have an opportunity as Philippe Clement makes his way back in to the dugout. I wonder if he's already thinking of further changes as Rangers look to try and put the game beyond St Johnstone. You would imagine a second goal would do that, given St Johnstone have a man fewer. As Yilmaz prepares to take the corner kick left-hand side. Outswinger, Goldson can't get there. It was Gordon that got to it, and it's out for a throw and back down near the corner flag as Yilmaz prepares to take it. Instead, McCausland just gets the ball before him and throws it in to Sterling, and now it's Goldson square for Tavernier. He'll take the shot on, but he balloons it way over the top from the captain. 54 minutes almost played at Ibrox. It's still Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, young McCausland's got in a great area there just probably 2 or 3 minutes ago. He's actually driving inside. I think he's only 18, 20 yards out. And he wants to play a 1-2. I think sometimes just have a shot. You know, it's you're at Ibrox. Don't worry about trying to walk the ball in the back of the net. Sometimes that strike and goal might take a deflection. I always say don't shoot, you don't score. So I think it's something Rangers maybe could do, as you say, Kenny, a little bit more movement, a little bit more positivity when they get in that final third.
There's a ball fired out to Sima there. He almost pulled off an extravagant flick, but not quite. You know, he's back with Suter, who plays it square for Goldson on the halfway line, out to Tavernier.
It's actually funny, they're actually leaving, they're really narrow on this left-hand side, and they're leaving Tavernier free quite a lot. He's the one player in the team you don't really want on the ball to get crosses in.
Considine able to clear before Tavernier can close him down, but here's Dowell right-hand side, up towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to find room for the shot. Phillips and then Kucheravi closing him down though, and Suter having to head it forward. Yilmaz helps it on to Sima, back to him once more from Dowell. Sima again, midway inside the St Johnstone half, into the feet of Lammers, out to the left-hand side. Yilmaz, good crossing opportunity, couldn't pick out a teammate though, and it's just lashed to safety by Robinson. But although, Kenny, I know you've not been overly impressed necessarily by Rangers' attacking play, it does feel like a second goal is inevitable.
It does, and again, they're patient, they're probing, they are moving St Johnstone across, and at that moment, it wasn't a bad cutback, I thought, from Yilmaz. Sima was maybe just a little bit on his heels. It looked like he was just going to be able to come on and get a shot off there at the penalty spot. But listen, it's all Rangers, one-way traffic. It is a matter of time before the second goal comes.
Here's Tavernier into the penalty area, away by Considine, a dangerous area. Manages to clear his lines. Tavernier quickly takes the throw in back to Goldson, 30 yards from the goal, plays it low into looking for the feet of Lammers there, but it was cut out, and St Johnstone will try to counter. Fed forward by Phillips, but no chance for Smith to get on the end of that, and it's almost like a training match this for Rangers, isn't it?
I think St Johnstone will be happy though, because Goldson trying to play those threaded passes rather than Tavernier. I think St Johnstone will be happy if he's getting it. I think the problem is they're having is when Tavernier gets on the ball, he's got the quality, he's got the vision.
Here he is again, right hand side, clips that one into the penalty, and out comes Mitov. Good take, and takes the pressure off his defence, the edge of his 6-yard box. 56.5 minutes played. It's Rangers 1, St Johnstone. Let's cross to Pittodrie to hear what's been happening there in the second half with Willie Miller.
Yeah, still 1-1 here at Pittodrie, and the game is the same. There's nothing in it. You know, Livingston have had their moments of possession. Aberdeen, theirs. I still feel that Aberdeen's got to play with a higher tempo. They've made changes, and Shaden Morris comes on, so they're now playing with the three up top. Majowski through the middle, Duke to the left, and Morris to the right hand side, trying to stretch Livingston, who've been well organised and disciplined at the back, but Aberdeen have got to do more. They've got that responsibility to be at home and take the game to Livingston. I think Livingston would definitely take the point, would they not? And they would hope that perhaps in the transition they might be able to create another opportunity, but it's very tight at this moment in time.
Thanks, Willie. Here's McCausland into the penalty area, but Phillips in to poke the ball out of play off McCausland. Actually, it'll be a St Johnstone throwing down near their own corner flag on the left-hand side. Rangers have won their last 5 games, and of course unbeaten under Philippe Clement in 14, unbeaten in 15 all told. The very first of those, of course, was Stephen Davis's second game in charge against St Mirren, which he won. So it's been a good run for Rangers, and you would imagine it should continue. If it doesn't continue this evening, there'll be questions asked clearly, but they lead by a goal to nil as Sterling comes up towards the edge of the penalty and just loses his footing, and St Johnstone will try and come clear. It's Olive Bunwa. They've got numbers forward here, St Johnstone, if they can use them. Matt Smith on the left hand side, midway inside the Rangers half, but Rangers have got bodies back and the momentum goes out the St Johnstone attack, and now they're struggling to keep a hold of it as Sterling robs Phillips, and it's Dessers approaching the edge of the penalty area now. Considine backpedaling, Dessers all on his own. Dessers with a shot, good save. Mitov pushes it away to his left hand side as Sterling picks up on the right. Dowell now back to Sterling. What a good counter attack that was from Rangers. Dowell into the feet of Dessers, who was unlucky there. Lammers can't make anything of it at the edge of the box. Break back to Dowell. Sterling once more. It was good tenacity from him to win the ball back in the middle of the park, and now he's found McCausland, right hand side. McCausland now stands up to the back post. Lammers with a shot, great save again by Mitov, pushing it away, kept in by Sima, left hand side of the box, tries to dink it back in. comes off Olafurwa, and behind for a Rangers corner. Dimitar Mitov keeping St Johnstone in the game right now.
Yeah, a couple of fantastic saves from him. I think, I don't know who was that, I think it was Lammers. He's got to make better contact with that. It's 12 yards out. Great little dink by McCausland, and a fantastic save by Mitov to keep it. The scoreline 1-0.
Yeah, and Dessers just before him was denied as Tony Gallagher's going to come on for young Fran Franchak before this corner kick can be taken. And he's just been told to exit the field behind the goal there to hurry things up, but Tony Gallagher will be allowed to come on. So that might mean another little bit of a reshuffle for St Johnstone. I'll let Callum and Kenny pick the bones out of that. But after this corner kick, which is going to be taken on the left-hand side by Ridvan Yilmaz, Rangers still in search of a second goal. In it comes. Comfortable take though, that one for Mitov. It was far too close to him from the corner. And it remains Rangers 1, 10-man St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, I think St Johnstone's just going to go a little bit stiffer on this left-hand side. Tony Gallagher, obviously a left-back. He'll just go a little bit higher up than Boyd Matt Smith.
Second goal for Aberdeen.
Oh, Willie, yeah, go for it. Take it away, Willie.
Yeah, it's a second goal for Aberdeen. It's Duke down the left-hand side. That tactical change has worked, and he hits the byline and he cuts it back. I'll give you one guess who scores. Bojan Majovski at the near post with the left foot, strikes into the back of the net to give Aberdeen their second goal and a 2-1 lead.
Thanks, Willie. That'll be greeted with relief as much as anything, I imagine, as Lammers tries to free himself of Phillips. Gets it back once more from Dessers. It's Lammers trying to weave his way through a number of St Johnstone players. He can't quite manage to do so, and eventually St Johnstone scramble it clear.
It's like they're trying to walk the ball in the back of the net just now. I think a couple of great opportunities here. Just shift and just side foot it in the corner.
Here's Suter. 61 minutes gone. Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0. All Rangers here, but still just the slender advantage, albeit a man advantage as well. Here's Dowell, clips it to the back post. It's Sterling inside the penalty area, trying to get turned and gets the shot away, and it was blocked about 10 yards out. And eventually Chris Kane then tumbles to the ground with possession, and St Johnstone get the free kick midway inside their own half. Again, Philippe Clement going back to consult some of his fellow coaches, and wouldn't be too surprised, Kenny, if Rangers do make a change or two in their fairly near future.
Yeah, listen, they've got a lot of options on there, guys. When this game's kind of maybe going to open up in the last 15 minutes or so, you've got the pace of Matondo, you've got maybe the craft and the ability of Todd Cantwell that can maybe come, even Scott Wright maybe making an appearance at the top end of the pitch as well. So there's a lot of options there. There's no doubt he will go to his bench soon, because he'll want to get this second goal and put this game to bed. 62 though played, and Rangers unable so far to add to Cyril Desser's first half strike as Tavernier brings it forward, slides it down the right channel looking for McCausland, but it's won instead by Robinson. Gallagher's playing one up from Robinson in this left hand side, isn't he? Which is,
yeah, they've just put the lad Smith across the right hand side. They've just stiffened off on this left-hand side, where I thought actually Rangers and Tavernier were getting a lot of joy.
Yeah, you spotted that a while back, and that's certainly what St Johnstone seemed to be trying to do. But here's Yilmaz on the left-hand side, twisting one way then the other, but it's a good challenge. I think it's from Smith himself, and played it off Yilmaz and out for a St Johnstone goal kick. 63 minutes played, Rangers leading by a goal to nil. Cyril Desser's 9th of the season, behind only James Tavernier and Abdallah Sima, both who have 14 coming into tonight's game, as Mitov prepares to take the goal kick. It was long over the halfway line. Dimitar Mitov looking for Gallagher, but neither he nor Tavernier can get a touch to that, and it's Rangers throw it quickly taken.
They know it's tough, you know, like it's going to be tough for St Johnstone, but like on that moment when the goalkeeper's kicking the ball up to Chris Kane, it's only Gallagher and Kane, and I'm looking at every other St Johnstone players just walking and watching. You know, you need to try and get some kind of support to your striker.
Dessers felt he was fouled there. The referee didn't agree. Tony Gallagher trying to keep the ball for St Johnstone, eventually fouling Goldson, and Rangers have a free kick, and it's quickly taken from Tavernier to McCausland. Back infield to Goldson. McCausland having to go back the way. Phillips, it looked like a foul, but play allowed to continue with Rangers still in possession. Tavernier back to Goldson. Again, everyone camped deep inside the St Johnstone half as Dowell picks up, plays it to his left-hand side to Suter, and now out to Yilmaz, midway inside the St Johnstone half. Suter once more, plays it square to Goldson. Goldson with 35 yards from goal, into the feet of Dessers, trying to spin away from his marker. He's done well, but he goes down, and then he can't quite get the shot off, and Dimitar Mitov able to gather as Philippe Clement, I thought he was shouting for Matondo there for a second, but would imagine that it's going to be the likes of Matondo who's going to come on and try and make an impact as the St Johnstone legs tire even further.
Yeah, they will again, and it's far too open, you know. I don't think there's a lot of space there really to attack for to actually use Matondo's pace. Maybe more later in the game if St Johnstone do maybe put another striker on and maybe go 4-3-2 and try and get something out of the game, but I think maybe something like Cantwell might be a bit more suited for this type of game at this moment.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kenny. I think it's right. When it's such a low, sort of deep block, very hard to go just with pace. It's more like craft and a little bit of ability.
Lammers dispossessed. Dowell winning it back for Rangers. Dan Phillips with a terrific challenge. 50-50. Philippe Clement didn't like that, actually. I thought that would be the kind of challenge that he would have loved in his playing day. It was a very meaty one as Phillips and Dowell went for it. Good play out on the right-hand side then from Matt Smith to weave his way forward for St Johnstone as they look for a scarcely believable equaliser, but he can't keep the ball, and Rangers have it once more through Sima. Lammers back to Sima, bit too much on the pass though, and that allows Gordon to slide in. It just feels like the Rangers fans getting on Sam Lammers back again a little bit with a couple of misplaced passes and so on.
I think it's just about the performance in general, to be honest with you, because they've been pretty sloppy. I mean, they've had a couple of decent opportunities through Lammers and Dessers, but like it's not been great. They're just getting a little bit nervous at this moment.
Sima unable to find a way through that St Johnstone back line. The call has been made to Todd Cantwell. Kenny and Callum have called it absolutely spot on. He's the man who's going to be introduced for the closing quarter of this game. Breaks at the edge of the box. Oh, that's so close for Abdallah Sima as he volleyed the ball. It fell to him just inside the St Johnstone penalty, and it was a loose header that fell kindly for him, and he tries to almost side foot volley it past Dimitar Mitov, but it flew maybe a yard or so wide as Scott Wright is also getting the call here to come on for the closing, 24 minutes or thereabouts.
I think it actually came off the post. I wasn't quite sure. It looked like it came off the post. I think, again, it was a forward pass. It was a poor header from St Johnstone right back. And again, a great area for a chance to score.
Sima is one of the players that's going to be replaced here for Rangers as Scott Wright comes on. Todd Cantwell will replace the beleaguered Sam Lammers as Rangers look to try and make the point safe. 1-0 they lead going into the final quarter of the game. Todd Cantwell will again go and operate in that number 10 position as St Johnstone prepare to take the goal kick here. Dimitar Mitov prepares to launch one long again in the direction of Tony Gallagher. He's unchallenged, but he heads it straight out of play.
It actually looks a wee bit blustery out there. You know, there's been a few sort of mistimed headers. The wind seems to be swirling about.
It's swirling around this gantry as well. I'm having to keep my notes well pinned down as Conor Goldson brings it forward, plays it to Tavernier. He's forced to hurry into the pass back to Goldson. And here's Cantwell, first touch for him, out to Yilmaz on that left-hand side. Cantwell once more, forward it goes to his fellow substitute Scott Wright and Sterling. Cantwell once more, left-hand side. Can he introduce the craft required? Wright tries to link with him, a sliding challenge comes in there from Gordon just before Cantwell got there, and Cantwell's hurt himself in that collision. He's off the field of play at the moment, so play can continue as Goldson brings it forward. Might fancy a shot, thinks better of it, plays it out to the right hand side instead to Tavernier. Now it's Dowell, about 30 yards from goal, just as left is Scott Wright, tries to find room for the shot, but it's quickly closed down by Kucheravi, and then Yilmaz just managing to keep it in play on that left hand side, plays it back to Suter. Still 1-0 Rangers. Slightly frustrating afternoon for those watching from the stands here at Ibrox, as they expected their side to go on and notch more goals after the breakthrough came, and then the dismissal of Jaisimi for St Johnstone, but it hasn't materialised. St Johnstone have been resolute since, and Rangers on occasion wasteful, at other times over elaborate, as Tavernier picks up about 30 yards from goal, tries to poke it through a crowd of players, and it's just not going to happen like that. As Considine makes the block, Robinson tries to play it down the line, it comes off McCausland, and after 69.5 minutes it remains Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0. Throw in to St Johnstone midway inside their own half, taken by Robinson. Well won though by Dowell, takes it off Phillips. Now Dessers finds Cantwell edge of the box. He's recovered from that knock and he fires just off target. Half decent effort from Todd Cantwell, who bought himself a bit of room, and again it was Kieran Dowell winning the ball in that heart of the midfield. Kenny, I do feel that he's maybe just playing his way into Philippe Clement's future thinking.
Well, I think he's definitely been probably one of the most impressive performers on the night. Again, in a performance it's not been particularly eye-catching, but he's I think he's performed in his role pretty well.
Dessers working hard there to win it from Liam Gordon, and he's won his side a corner kick. I mean, the Dowell was certainly being linked in a couple of the papers with a move away in January, and certainly his lack of football would suggest that wouldn't be a surprise, but maybe with this kind of performance he can play his way in. Here's Tavernier from the edge of the box. Oh, that's not far away again from Tavernier. Tried his luck from just about 25 yards or so, right-footed, swerving in towards the goal, but not quickly enough, and it flew past Mitov's left-hand post as St Johnstone prepares to bring on Graham Carey and Ryan McGowan for the closing 20 minutes. 1-0 it stands, Callum, as the experience comes from the bench.
Yeah, just that energy. I think they just need to replace sort of like for like a little bit. You know, just make sure they can maintain this. You know, they're still in the game just now. I know Kenny's been saying about Rangers, but I think they've had enough chances. They've been in good areas to score and be more clinical. I think that's probably the biggest disappointment for Rangers tonight, is the fact they've got in those areas. They haven't taken their chances. Mitov's pulled a couple of really good saves, but a couple of times I think they've got to be a little bit more clinical when they get those areas. St Johnstone again, it's just that energy. You know, I think he's taken Dan Phillips off. He just had a crunching tackle. He's already been booked. Again, it's really important he doesn't lose him for the up-and-coming games as well.
Yeah, that's almost more important than perhaps for this one, isn't it? As Costello's also coming on here. So, triple change for St Johnstone, and Craig Levein, as he rolls the dice. He's won just once here as a manager, in charge of Hearts back in May 2004. A couple other victories with Dundee United at Tannadice over Rangers. That's the three he's managed in his 36 games as a manager. As play is about to resume with that triple change from St Johnstone. They're still in this game, just one goal down, albeit a man down as well, but stranger things have happened. Rangers haven't put the game to bed, as Kucheravi heads it out of play, and it'll be a Rangers throw-in. Rangers will absolutely kick themselves if they don't go in and take all 3 points on this one, Kenny, surely.
Oh, that's absolutely. I think even with a full complement of players on the pitch, Rangers would be expecting to win comfortably against St Johnstone, you know, and it has been it's a game where sometimes when you go down to 10 men you can get a little bit complacent.
Yilmaz fizzes it in, comes off Mitov, Tavernier into the side netting. Some of the fans thought that was in as the net ripple, but it was the side net only. Another fierce effort from the skipper, but it's another one that's just off target. 73 played, Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, you've seen him arrive at that area of the box so many times over his Rangers career. Again, even just on Sunday, popping up with the cut final goal. I'm thinking back to Dortmund as well. He had a goal for a similar position. He's got the technique, he just never quite got the direction. He's got the power behind it, but like you say, just into the side netting.
Goal kick taken by Mitov, who has had a good afternoon, a good evening, and he's kept Rangers at bay when required.
Well, I'm thinking of 3 really good saves in this second. I think 2 for Lammers, 1 for Dessers.
Yeah.
Rangers have been a little bit wasteful with good opportunities.
Yeah, we had a terrific game at Celtic Park when they emerged with a point as well. Here's Cantwell coming forward for Rangers, looking to create something here. Backed away from Dowell to Goldson. Cantwell once more. St Johnstone with everyone behind the ball as it's played forward. I think he was looking for Tavernier to be on the move. He wasn't, and it's behind for a goal kick. And yeah, as you say, Kenny, it's just going to get that little bit more nervy as the seconds continue to creep by, and it remains just the 1-0. All it takes, as Callum's mentioned, is maybe a set piece or something.
Listen, it does, and I think that's just the nature of the game, and you're only winning 1-0 with 10-15 minutes to go. But they have to find a way to get into the Rangers box if they're going to have an opportunity, and they're not going to get like that with Mitov just kicking the ball straight at the pitch. So
it's another Kenny 3-wood, that one.
It's moving the wrong way. It's moving the wrong way.
Here's Dowell, 25 yards from goal, try to play it through for Dessers, didn't quite come off against St Johnstone with bodies in the way.
You can just sense a wee bit of nervousness from the Rangers crowd. It's actually quite strange, you know. The game's so comfortable. They're just either expecting or wanting that other goal, isn't it?
You know, they want more, and they're frustrated with the performance because that second, third goals have not came as yet.
Here's McCausland trying to make that happen. Pulled and pushed there by Gallagher, but retains possession, and then Dowell plays it to Suter, out to the left for Yilmaz. Yilmaz in, headed away by Gordon, about 10 yards from goal. McCausland picks up, now Dowell into the feet of Dessers, trying to get turned, but Considine stands up and able to knock it out of play on this near side for a Rangers throw-in. In fact, it's St Johnstone throw. It's been given down near their own corner flag, and quarter of an hour remaining. Still it's Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0. 2-1 Aberdeen lead at Pittodrie against Livingston. There's Goldson all the way back to Jack Butland, the edge of his penalty area. Butland's barely had a touch in the second half, has he? He had little to do in the first half, but even less, I think, in the second. Here's Yilmaz, left-hand side.
Kitman won't need to wash his strip anyway after this game.
No, certainly not. Here's Dowell out to the right to McCausland. McCausland up against Robinson, right-hand side of the penalty area. Trying a couple of tricks. McCausland into the box he goes, gets it back from Cantwell, still right hand side of the box, back with Dowell. Can he find room for the shot? Closed down there by Carey. Breaks for Yilmaz, clips that into the 6-yard box, but again Mitov off his line before Tavernier can latch onto it, and Mitov has launched that for Costello, and Costello could be in behind here. Well, fortunately for Rangers, it skips through to Jack Butland before Costello could get there, but that wasn't too far away from the breakaway that the Rangers fans have been dreading.
Yeah, I was unlucky actually. Great kick by Mitov, and Costello's got a really good pace, probably more of a winger, but a really good pace, and probably just a fraction softer than he was in.
I think that shows how strong that wind is out there.
Here's McCausland, right hand side of the box, gets to the byline. Who did that come off last as the challenge comes in from Robinson? The officials indicate for a corner kick to Rangers. 46931, I think the attendance was given there inside Ibrox in this December evening. As most of them willing Rangers on to get the second goal. Smattering of St Johnstone fans across there on the far side, desperately hoping their side can somehow find an equaliser. It's Tavernier preparing to take this corner. 13 to play, 1-0 Rangers. Headed away by Gordon. Comes out to Yilmaz, takes a couple of touches, then tries to bend it, but it's way over the top from Yilmaz. Disappointing effort because he had so much time and space to make a better effort of that, but disappointing. He scored a good goal here against Livingston, but never in any danger of replicating that there, and still just 1-0.
Yeah, I don't understand there why there's a lot of bodies in the way. Put your foot through it, you know. Again, deflections, little things. Great area just to touch and hit it. He's actually tried to be too clever, and he's actually tried to go near post. I think that's the one area where he's not going to score.
Yilmaz having to do a bit of defending here. It comes off him last, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side to St Johnstone, about 20 yards maybe from the corner flag. 12 minutes remaining of the 90.
This is what we're talking about. I don't think St Johnstone have had actually a shot this game yet. Don't think Jack's had a a save to make. So this is an area where Ryan McGowan's on the pitch. Obviously he's got a long throw, so Rangers have got to be on their guard, and this is the opportunity St Johnstone have been looking for.
Max Kucheravi went to ground there, and Todd Cantwell was the closest Rangers player to him. Not entirely sure what went on in that particular incident, but the referee's having a word with both of them now, with Kucheravi back on his feet as McGowan prepares to take the throw in. Just getting a rerun of that, and it was very little. It was a slight shove from Cantwell, but not too much, as McGowan's throw in does come in. It's flicked on by Gordon, and Tavernier gets just enough on it to ensure that Tony Gallagher could make nothing of it. But again, it's the kind of thing that could break any way, as Cantwell picks up the ball forward though. Tavernier now back with Cantwell on the halfway line. Infield it goes to Dowell inside the centre circle. Still 1-0 Rangers. St Johnstone down to 10 men since just after the half-hour mark. Dowell once more, back out to Yilmaz's left-hand side. Dowell again, inside to Cantwell, plays it forward for Wright and gets it back once more. Cantwell tries to take on a couple of players, gets past them but not the third, and then Yilmaz fouls Kucheravi on the edge of the St Johnstone penalty area, and the referee's whistle sounds towards the Saints a free kick, and more frustration for the home fans.
Yeah, and I think the whistle sounded after Kucheravi had decided for the referee there for him. He just grabbed the ball and says, you need to make a decision here because I've grabbed this. So, but nah, it's frustration from Rangers. See, Campbell's trying to make things happen. He's trying to urge his teammates to move into a more advanced position, a more threatening position. It's just, it just seems like this game is just going to kind of peter out, and Rangers are going to get away with the 1-0.
Goldson stretching, couldn't reach the ball there, but Tavernier plays it forward to Dessers. Dessers gets it back to Dowell there, who looked to have been pulled back, and the referee blows for the free kick inside the centre circle. Alan Muir wants a free kick taken again. Not sure if that's because he's going to book St Johnstone player, or if he just wants it taken from what he deems to be the correct place. As Sterling.
It's good for St Johnstone because it slows the game down, but Rangers are actually on a sort of counter-attack there, and this is maybe where VAR actually stops it as well. Rangers on a quick attack, a couple of fouls by St Johnstone players, game slowed back down, St Johnstone back in their shape once again.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was just maybe a minor check going on there from VAR to cause that minor hold-up, but anyway, we're back underway, nothing happened, as McCausland plays it to Goldson, who's about 15-20 yards inside St Johnstone territory, plays it square for Suter. Now Yilmaz out to the left-hand side to Cantwell. Cantwell on the left flank, plays it into Wright. Wright trying to link, I think, with Cantwell, but it breaks kindly for Yilmaz. Then Sterling tries to take it on down that left-hand side, but St Johnstone have won it back, and will surely in the last few minutes try and test this Rangers backline more than they have thus far, as Goldson wins that particular battle with Chris Kane and plays it back to Butland, who's forced to clear and slices out of play with Chris Kane putting him under pressure. 8 minutes to go, Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0. Throw into St Johnstone midway inside the Rangers half to be taken by Luke Robinson.
Just a few more positive signs from St Johnstone, or negative signs from Rangers, giving the ball away, and St Johnstone managed to break a few times. If Chris Kane had done a little bit better there, they might have had a great chance to put the ball in box with some sort of danger.
Yeah, he had a little bit of support coming from the left-hand side here. He just needed to kind of settle himself, get his head up and see and allow the support to get there. Because I think we're at that time now, Callum. I think that St Johnstone need to do something. They need to put more bodies forward or put someone else up alongside Chris Kane just to give them more of a threat.
Yeah, definitely. I think sometimes you just got to go those two attackers. You know, just got to go three across the middle. You know, Rangers going to have possession anyway. But again, once the ball goes forward, you know, on the transition, because Rangers giving it away a few times needlessly in wide areas, and it's having those two strikers, Kenny, just to actually get them up the pitch, a little bit of link play, all of a sudden get two or three bodies up, and the opportunity to try and apply some pressure, because it is a little bit nervous.
Here's right for Dessers. Dessers could be in here, down goes. Mitov comes out, penalty kick. Dimitar Mitov penalised for taking Cyril Dessers out of play after a terrific ball through from Scott Wright. And Rangers will have the chance from the spot to make the point safe with 7 minutes left on the clock. Dessers just too quick for Mitov there, and the referee was quick to point to the spot.
It looks like when Mitov's sort of reaction, he has clipped him just, I think it is. Momentum's just taking them through, hasn't it?
Listen,
Yeah.
I think there's contact there on the right boot, but you could see for here that Dessers was going to knock it and go down. You could see it. There's like a sweeping action as well. I think there's definite contact from the right arm onto the right boot of Dessers.
Just saw Dessers actually saying to Tavernier, "Can I take it?"
Yeah, listen, I've seen
not
that
a
as well,
chance.
but that's just not happening.
No, James Tavernier pulling rank, and will try to make the point safe for Rangers here from the spot. Assuming that the awards goes ahead, looks to be, yeah, I think Alan Muir has indicated it will be. So James Tavernier with a winner on Sunday against Aberdeen in the League Cup final, with a chance to put Rangers 2 up here from the penalty spot. Up he steps, the Rangers captain, low into the right-hand corner of Dimitar Mitov's net. Couldn't get down there quickly enough, Mitov, and Rangers have a second goal, and surely now all 3 points are guaranteed. James Tavernier's 15th goal of the season. And after a frustrating evening at Ibrox for the watching Ibrox fans, it is Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, fantastic penalty, good composure. He never fails to deliver for Rangers. You know, once again he stepped up, good composure. Goalkeeper's bottom right hand side, right in the corner. Mitov's got no chance. St Johnstone will be a little bit disappointed. 2 goals they've lost, probably 2 goals they could have avoided quite easily. So, you know, it's been a tough evening for St Johnstone. This might just settle Rangers down a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if Craig Levein changes anything. Kenny, as we're talking about, maybe just try and chase it, or will he just accept that's the game gone?
Yeah, I think that's it now. You know, he's missed the ball. You know, he's waited too long. The penalty's come 2-0 now. It's game over.
Yeah, it's James Tavernier's game is over as well. He's going to be replaced for the final few minutes by Leon King, and he's given a standing ovation by all 4 stands here at Ibrox. He really is captain fantastic these days, James Tavernier. His numbers are incredible. 30 appearances, 15 goals this season. A goal every 2 games for a fullback. It's his 116 in Rangers colours. It's his 60th successful penalty conversion, that one. And I mean, we're almost running out of superlatives for James Tavernier. Kenny, I know he's a man you know well.
Yeah, listen, again, you've went through the numbers. It's incredible. 60 penalties or not, you still need to step up, and you put your neck on the line there and having to take them. And his goal return, again, you could probably throw another 150 assists onto that as well, probably. He's just he's the man for the big occasion. When Rangers need someone to step up, he's more often not the man.
Here's Scott Wright running at goal, trying his luck, takes a deflection, and it makes it an easy take for Dimitar Mitov. Took the sting out of the shot there. And after 86 minutes, thanks to James Tavernier's penalty, it's Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0. Just trying to check those assist numbers. I think he's on 123 if we count the one he gave to Dessers early in this game now, so not bad going. Let's cross to Pittodrie and get a final update from the final stages, I suppose, of that game, Willie.
Yeah, it looks as though Aberdeen have turned it round and are going to take the full 3 points, but a couple of big chances, big opportunity for Bruce Anderson coming on as a substitute right through with just the goalkeeper to beat. He hits it well enough, but he puts it wide of the post. That would have made it 2-2, so it was an important opportunity and a poor miss from the striker. And at the other end, Majowski, who's already scored 2, had a great chance to make it the hat-trick when the ball fell to him, but a fabulous save from Sean George in goal Jamal George in goal to actually block it at blank range. You know, that would have been 3-1 and game over, but it looks as though Aberdeen showing a bit of character, coming back from that 1 goal down, possibly to take the full 3 points. We've only got a couple of minutes left here to play.
Thanks, Willie. We'll get a full-time roundup from Willie and hear from both David Martindale, for whom things look even grimmer if the result stays, or the scoreline stays as it is, and also Barry Robson, as well as the 2 managers here at Ibrox. 2-0 Rangers lead, but they made hard work of it at times, certainly trying to find that second goal, albeit you would have to say that St Johnstone have not once troubled Jack Butland in the Rangers goal. A couple of mini scares at best in that period just prior to the second Rangers goal, but nothing more than that. as Golson plays it to Sterling.
It was always an uphill task for St Johnstone when they got the man sent off. It's a hard place to come, you know, with 11 men to try and get a result, to try and put pressure on Rangers. To go goal down and then probably quick succession after that get a man sent off. It's been a really tough evening for St Johnstone. They've worked really hard. Rangers have had their chances, haven't they, but just not quite clinical enough. And managed to sort of keep St Johnstone in the game up until probably the 85th minute. Sorry.
There's Considine clearing his lines, and then helped further forward by McGowan. Costello showing a good turn of pace there. Shove there. No, it's going to be a corner, but Suter was maybe nudged over, but Alan Muir says corner kick. So St Johnstone will have a late chance here to try and pull a goal back, and who knows, maybe make for a dramatic final few minutes of injury time, which we'll find out exactly how much is to be added on just shortly, as St Johnstone prepares to take this corner kick right hand side. That's Carey across there with the left foot delivery. It's well defended actually. It's near post by Scott Wright, comes back into the Rangers box, and then Cyril Dessers has been penalised for his challenge at the edge of the penalty area. Finished 2-1 at Pittodrie incidentally, and St Johnstone are going to get a chance here from a free kick dead ball situation. This is right up Graham Carey's street. It's what, about 28 yards from goal, just slightly right of centre, and Graham Carey, who's got a couple of goals in recent weeks, 3 minutes added on here as well. And St Johnstone with a chance to try and test Jack Butland here. Graham Carey's got a beautiful left foot, certainly more than capable from this kind of range of troubling the opposing goalkeeper. Up he steps, left-footed, curls it, comes off the top of the wall and behind for another St Johnstone corner. Might well have been heading on target, but for the intervention of the Rangers wall. The Ibrox crowd rather dwindling now. They think the job is done. And probably right, 2-0 as we move into stoppage time. Carey across to the left-hand side to swing this corner out the way this time against a near post ball. It's Wright again who gets something on it. Dessers are trying to get latched onto the header, but Kucheravi knocks it out of play over on the far side. So Rangers head into within 2 points of Celtic as we move into the weekend fixtures. Celtic at home to Livingston, Rangers away to Motherwell, and beyond that it is of course approaching the 30th of December when the two sides meet for a mouth-watering top of the table clash. Rangers have also got Ross County here at a week tonight prior to that one. And it's all set up, Kenny. Well, it's all looking like it's going to be set up for that one. It'll be intriguing.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it already. Al, you look if that's Rangers navigated the kind of first hurdle with the 3 games before they play Celtic. Obviously Celtic have Livingston and Dundee again. You can't see them dropping any more points there, so like you say, you could be going into a game against Celtic at Celtic Park on the 30th with a chance for Rangers to potentially go top of the league, but a chance also for Celtic just to keep Rangers at arm's length.
Yeah, we shall see how that all transpires. Watch it and listen to it on the BBC. We'll get sports scene highlights of tonight's games actually at 10:40 on BBC One Scotland. That looked like a handball on the edge of the penalty area by Graham Carey, not noticed by Alan Muir. St Johnstone coming the counter, looking for a late consolation goal. Surely that's all it would be. Costello up to the edge of the box. He's eventually dragged to the ground by Cantwell, who'll be shown the yellow cards here.
That's a good counter-attack by St Johnstone there. I think if he gets his head up, he just fires it across goal. I think there's Chris Kane and Tony Gallagher in the back post. He's trying to take another touch and probably says that's a good foul by Cantwell in the end, because it was a great chance for Rangers to basically have a shot and have a cross and go, have a cross.
Got a chance for St Johnstone here to again try their luck. Surely would be nothing more than a consolation at this late stage and deep into stoppage time. You'd imagine it'll be Carey once more with the left foot from the right hand side, almost in line with the angle of the box there on that right hand side, but just a few yards outside of the penalty area.
I think Max and Graham they're both fantastic at free kicks. Young Max he practices every day free kicks.
It looks like he's going to get a go at it, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Carey's moved away from.
Don't be surprised if this is a shot on goal.
Well, it will be Kucheravi with the left foot. Up he steps, over the top from Kucheravi, and Jack Butlin is going to record a 9th clean sheet in his last 13 in the league. That run started with the St Johnstone victory at McDermott Park. That's full time at Ibrox. A comfortable victory for Rangers, mirroring the scoreline up at McDermott Park back in September. It was never really in doubt, and certainly once Cyril Dessers came off the bench to replace Kemar Roof, who was injured earlier on, and then got in the end of James Tavernier's cross just before the half-hour mark to knock it between the legs of Dimitar Mitov and score the opening goal. Then that was a good indication of where the points were heading, and a couple of minutes later it got even more difficult for St Johnstone as Dilan Jaissimi saw red after a VAR intervention for a overly strong challenge on John Lundstrom, who didn't emerge for the second half, perhaps as a result. Mitov was then required to keep St Johnstone in the game. He made good saves before and after the interval from Dessers and Lammers, a couple of times from each, really. Sima had a shot which might well have flicked outside of the post, but it wasn't until the 83rd minute where Rangers really made sure of the victory as Wright played Dessers through on goal. He was clipped by Mitov as he went inside the penalty area. The referee awarded the spot kick, and up stepped James Tavernier to score his 15th goal of the season, his 9th in the league from the spot. And that certainly wrapped up the points. And Johnstone barely looked a threat, even on the counter. A couple of sniffs towards the end of the game, but nothing of any real magnitude. And so Rangers do go within a couple of points of Celtic at the top of the table with a one game still in hand. The title race seems very much on at Ibrox. A comfortable night for Rangers. They won by 2-0.
On digital.